Hello and welcome back to the M2 Podcast. I'm your host, Michael Anthony. My co-host right here is KyleHeath. This is the show where we cover basically gaming industry related news of the last week. This week we're going to be talking about a little bit of Sony Interactive Entertainment getting a new CEO. I'm going to dive into that a little bit. Talking about the Ayaneo 3, which is a brand new handheld. It's pretty cool. We've covered Ayaneo a bunch of times in the show, and honestly, we like yapping about new handhelds coming out. Next thing we're going to talk about is Netflix cloud gaming, a bunch of different options that's going on with Netflix because they like have breaking profits this year. So they're definitely trying to innovate and add some new features. Last thing we're gonna kind of finish up on is one DeepSeek AI, which is like the AI competitor to OpenAI or ChatGPT, something that a lot of people know about, or Gemini. And yeah, video game releases of February. But before we get into it, Kyle, how you been, dude? What have you been up to? I know you've been playing a whole bunch of Witcher and you're excited to talk about that. So what's going on?
Yeah, dude. They're pretty much like, I think the only game get back, played two different games. Yeah, dude, I was like scouring, I'd mentioned previously. Oh, The Witcher 3 was a game that I'd like always like. It was one of those things I was like, maybe like next time that's on sale. Because it was on sale it's like a pretty good sale like a couple months ago. And I just didn't capitalize on it. And I was like, next time it goes on sale, like I'll throw it. Like it's been on my list for a long time. It's like next time it goes on sale, like maybe I'll finally pull the trigger because I haven't really been able to find any sort of like humble deal or anything where you get it free for a month or whatever. So I'm just going through trying to kind of just it's like whatever, leave it on the list. We'll see. I'm expecting like we're talking like maybe like spring sale. It'll be available and I'll be able to play it maybe a couple months from now, but won't jump in anyways. So I was on Steam just looking around and I'd previously noticed a couple days before that Rockstar was having a huge sale. They're actually having a publisher sale right now on Steam, and so I was like,
oh really?
And so yeah, one of the games they have on sale obviously is Red Dead Redemption 2. It was actually on a good price. It was like one of the best. I think it's like a historic low or something on Steam. It was pretty low. It was like $15, I think, for game or something like that. And so I was like, you know what, dude? Like Red Dead 2, it's a game that I see it's on so many must-play lists, and when I'm just like going through looking at kind of what are games I haven't played yet I probably should try. That was on the list. So I was like, you know what, dude? I'll get that. That's a pretty good deal. Probably, I mean, there's like I could probably wait like another year, maybe get it like $5 cheaper, but like it's such a good game. What's $15? $15 for a solid game. Like, who am I to just turn that down? So I was adding that. I like added that to the cart, bought that, and then lo and behold, like the next morning, I think I went to use the bathroom or something like that, and I got a notification on my phone because I had Witcher 3 on my wish list, and it said Witcher 3 from your list is going on sale. I was like, oh, okay. And so like I click on it and I look at Steam on my phone. And sure enough, it was on sale for like $10, I think, for that and the DLC, like the game and the DLC.
Shoot.
And I was like, and so I checked GG deals and I was like, okay, how does this deal compare to the previous ones? I was like, $10. I feel like that's probably the best deal. Sure enough, it's like the lowest it's ever been. It's been $10 before. I think it's maybe been like tad, like maybe $1 or $2 cheaper in the past, but
yeah, I've seen it a few times. It's very uncommon though.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, dude, $10 for the whole game and the DLC. I was like, something just spoke to me. Like, he's like, I literally thought of that, and then like a day or two later, it's like, here you go, Kyle. The game is on sale. So I was like, all right, it's like it's meant to be. So I went ahead and got it. And so I think it was like Friday night. I played. I tried Red Dead 2. I played like the first couple hours of that, and I was like, okay, I could see myself definitely like getting into this, playing it, and kind of really get into it.
Very cool.
And so, like, played a few hours, was really enjoying it. And like, but there was something like the next day, I was just kind of like, I like that game, but like, I kind of want to try Witcher. Like, I don't want to wait to finish Red Dead 2 before starting The Witcher. And so, like the next day, I hop on Witcher 3. And dude, it's one of those things where I'm playing, I'm enjoying it. I'm just playing, right? And then I look down at the clock and it's been like 4 or 5 hours. And I was like, what?
That's how it happens. Yeah, I was gonna say it's gonna suck up your life, dude.
Yeah, dude, I don't know. It's the time just flies when I play that game. And yeah, dude, there's a couple. I just want to talk about my Witcher experience because like I played a couple hours of Red Dead, and I'll get back to that obviously. But Witcher 3, I'm like, all right, well, this is gonna be the game until I beat it. Like this is probably gonna be it. So I'm just going through a couple notes. I had to take a note that I'm currently about 17 or so hours in. So, over the course of a few days, I've been able to clock 17 hours. So yeah, I guess a third through the game. I don't know, according to how long to beat. Because I think when I was looking it up, it was like 50 hours, something like that, for just the base game. It's not including DLC. And so, yeah, so about 17 hours in. I will say, throughout my early experience with the game, the first like 4 or 5 hours, I did have like an issue. Like I got hard crashes a few times, which was very weird. I was like, and like I was like,
That shouldn't happen.
I toyed with
Yeah.
a lot of the settings beforehand, like before I even started the game, just to get because I was like, I want to play the graphics a little bit high. It's an older game, so shouldn't be that demanding on my hardware. And so, yeah, I was cranking everything up. I turned on NVIDIA Hairworks because I was like, I've never like used that in any other game, and so I was like, oh, we'll turn it on. And like the hair looks pretty good. It's not like I don't think it was anything insane, but yeah, I kept getting that hard crash, especially on certain sequences where I'm like loading into areas. So I'm like, it's a little weird. I was looking it up, and there was like a bunch of different opinions. Some people were saying VSync, but one of the things that I saw was a lot of people pointing to Hairworks was actually like they were like, when I turned off Hairworks, I actually didn't have a crashing issue anymore. And so I turned that off, turned off VSync, just like whatever. I'll put the frame cap on. And I don't know. Sure enough, I have not had a crash since. So it's like really odd how
That is very
Hairworks
odd.
was
Yeah.
apparently the reason, but maybe it was VSync. I don't know. But I adjusted a few settings, and I've been pretty smooth sailing since. So it's very weird though. It's like it's just like those little settings and stuff. Like for whatever reason, the game is prone to crashing. So I don't know. But I'm glad I got it working because now I have a nice smooth experience. But it's one of those games though. If I had to deal with crashing, I probably would just put up with it every few hours, just like reload. Whatever. But yeah. And now another point. I said I'm surprised at how invested I am in the story in the world. And this is coming from someone who's like we talked about this before on the show. Like I was never really into fantasy, right? Like, it was just kind of like one of those things. Like, but I had mentioned I've teased like I want to get into that world. Like I think now's like a time where I'm actually interested in like fantasy games and trying those kind of stuff because I really enjoyed D&D and whatnot, and really enjoyed Baldur's Gate, and that's kind of the diving into the RPG fantasy stuff. And so I figured that was the right time, and it's the right time, Mike. I don't know, dude. I'm just enjoying it. But yeah, it's I don't know, dude. It's one of those things. This is one of those games I feel like just from the little bit I played, I could see why so many people recommend it. So many people enjoy it. And some people are just like, you should play this game regardless of whether you're into the genre or not, because it's just a good story and a lot to kind of take in. So very good stuff there, dude. Geralt as a character, like the main character of Witcher 3, bro. Geralt, like because I put a note that he works so well.
Yes.
And I was very skeptical at first, like just because I didn't really have any expectations. Like I didn't know Geralt at all. Like I didn't really watch any gameplay of Witcher, so like I wasn't privy to who he was as a character. And so when I'm first playing, I'm like, he seems very kind of like monotone, deadpan, like doesn't really offer like much personality wise. I was like, and of course that's my first impression. So I'm like, okay, maybe I'll vibe with him, but I don't know. I was very kind of just confused. But CD Projekt Red, they did such a good job of leveraging this personality that he has. And dude, it makes for some like just laugh out loud moments that I have throughout the game where it's just like he delivers a line or like a scenario happens, and the way he reacts and responds to it, it just like kills me every time. And so like I feel like they knew what they were doing. It's just like
they did everything on purpose. It's perfect.
Yeah. Have you played Witcher 3 at all? Like, have you seen any of the game?
Yeah, I have.
Dude,
I haven't. I hadn't beaten it just because it's like it was so demanding for my time, and I think I bought the game in a period of my life where I was just slammed with like work.
Yeah.
Because at my old job, I was just destroyed.
Yeah.
Like before 2020. So.
Look, man, I don't know. I don't know if you remember the goat mission at all, where you have to escort a goat back to.
I do remember that.
The Alchemist.
That's really early on too.
It's early in the game, but dude, that mission was just so ridiculous, and I think there was so much about it that was just so funny, and like just the whole idea that Geralt has to literally have a bell that he rings to try and get the goat to come back. And dude, the interaction, like you could just tell he's like, I can't believe I'm doing this pretty much the whole time. Like I'm actually luring a goat back with a bell, like what is going on kind of thing. And then I was like, and like I was about to say like all the details of the mission. I won't get into the details because I feel like everyone should experience it. But it's just one of those things that shows like it's just something. It's a situation you wouldn't expect him in, and how he reacts and kind of works throughout the quest. It's what makes the game good, in my opinion. It's like when you get this stuff like that. It's what makes him good as a character. So just leave it at that. All right, only a couple more points, and I'll get off. But I made a mention that what I like about this game is how the points of interest are so they're actually not far from each other. And like I really notice like when I'm running or like I'm riding the horse, I'm riding Roach around and kind of going
Yeah.
from place to place, you get to places very quickly, which I think it helps
Yeah,
me
relatively quickly.
because it's like
Hmm.
when you're wandering around going to place, like you don't wander for more than like 30 seconds to a minute without running into some like NPCs
Right.
or like creatures or
Yeah.
something. So that's a good way of keeping me engaged, and so I'm sure that's probably been super effective for most players. And it's just something I noticed. It's like I don't know. It's very it's just a way to. I think it's like an RPG kind of on a world done right, and I can see why so many people have since probably modeled a lot of aspects of their kind of world
100%.
after
Yeah.
that. So they did it pretty well.
Yeah.
So I had to acknowledge that.
Did you get the complete edition, or like I think it might even be like the awards edition or something like that?
And yeah, I think I have the Game of the Year edition, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, game of the year. Why was I blanking? Holy crap. I'm curious if there's like a difference between game of the year or the complete edition or the like the original release, because I've never really looked into it or compared. But
Yeah.
getting the game of the year is probably what you should do, just like as a collector and stuff.
Yeah.
If you
I
got
mean,
the
dude.
physical copies or had that opportunity.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Game of the Year's good. All the like the DLC, like there was even one DLC quest that already showed up in my thing, but it's like a level
Yeah.
32 quest or something like that. So I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do that till probably. I mean, I wouldn't want to
Yeah,
get to it after the
you
game
got
anyway.
hours to go,
But
bro.
yeah, dude, it's like, but yeah, just realizing like I'm only
Days, maybe.
17 hours in, and the average completion time for like assuming you just kind of go through it is like roughly 50. So it's
Yep.
like you just go through, you're like, whoa, wait, this is a big game. But yeah, the only other thing I mentioned, one gripe I do have is like I feel like the inventory system, some aspects of it that I'm not too fond of, like especially when you're trying to like drop items or sort your inventory. Like sorting's real easy, but like if I'm trying to drop an
Yeah.
item, I can't just hover my cursor over it and press R because
Nope.
the previous item is selected. And so there's been a lot of times where I've just dropped a sword by accident. I'm like, oh, I gotta pick it up.
It takes a while to get used to, but you also you got to remember. I don't know, like the completed edition. I had to look it up while you were talking, so I'd be a little bit more informed. But the complete edition came out on in 2022, but it was for PlayStation 5 and Xbox. So you
Mm.
basically said you're not on that. So you must be doing the 2015 version that
Yeah,
came
Game
out.
of the Year edition. I don't know. Yeah, whatever
Yeah,
the DSN.
yeah. So maybe 2016 or whatever. But the point is like it's a dated game. It's almost 10 years old now.
Yeah,
So you got
but
to just be
even
aware of
like
that.
I mean, yeah, like so I see some aspects of it that are dated, like dated. I don't know, man. It's still like I don't know if it was released in kind of today's climate. Obviously, graphics wise, it probably wouldn't hold up to the same standard. But I think just story wise and everything, like that part
Yeah.
is like it's really good still. I don't know, like
Yeah.
it just it does. Like I don't think it's like the writing and stuff isn't lost or anything like that. At least from what I played. So, but yeah, another thing I noticed too. Another thing I ran into is like, I had a saddle for Roach in my inventory, right? The horse that it was like a saddle that increased your carry weight by like 30, 35.
Yes.
And so it was in my inventory, right? Dude,
Yeah.
Mike, I played for like 10, maybe 12 hours. And I was like, and I don't know why I never put two and two together. The fact that, oh, I actually have to equip this saddle. Like he doesn't.
Oh yeah.
And so I'm sitting there with like 50 or 60 like inventory space. And like after like 10 hours of like having to drop stuff and like not be able to pick up everything, I'm like, dude, what is taking up all this weight? Like, what is going on? I can't like free up. And something like selling stuff, barely making a dent. I'm like, dude, what is going
Yeah.
on? And so like I eventually like I was just looking through the inventory and like I went over to like Roach's little thing and I kind of wanted to see what he had equipped or what he had on him. And I noticed like and I was like, wait, that saddle icon looks like I can equip something there and there's nothing there. And then, so I was like, oh, and then I clicked the saddle, moved it over, and I was like, oh my god, like literally 10
Yeah.
hours of just not realizing that.
Dude, you're not the only person to do that. I promise you. I mean, I've had that issue. You actually like because I hadn't played the game honestly since 2016, 2017. Because that's when I got it. I got it like
Yeah.
basically on release because everybody was talking about how great it was. And that was one of the issues I came across. I'm not big into RPGs, so I never really
Yeah.
got into that inventory stuff as much as I should have. I mean, now I'm a little bit more well versed because I played Diablo a bunch.
Yeah.
But yeah, I had that issue too. It doesn't explain it really.
Yeah.
And if it does, it's got to be like the smallest pop up
Yeah,
imaginable.
like maybe it was explained. I literally just ignored it or didn't notice. I don't
Yeah.
know, but I'm sure it
We
probably
get
was
pop ups
explained.
so many times that like my brain turns off now.
Yeah, after a while, you're just like, I'm 10 hours in. Why am I still getting a pop up? It's like, I don't know.
They'll quit me. I'll quit me. It's
Yeah,
like
but it was,
Navi from
yeah,
Lord of the Legend of Zelda.
yeah. But I don't know. Yeah, so like little things like, and I mean, I'm not super privy to like traditional fantasy RPGs, I guess. So like, there's just little things like that I just am not like kind of paying attention to. And so, it's certainly making the experience better once I figure out like kind of how to do everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, dude, I think Mike, honestly, I messed up when it's all said and done because I decided to start Witcher 3 and we have Avowed in 3 weeks. And
Yes, we do.
there's
You
no way
messed
I'm
up
finished.
actually a
There's
lot.
no way I'm finishing
No,
Witcher 3 before then.
no. You got to
So
quit your job, man.
yeah, and
That's basically what's got to
yeah,
happen for
just
you.
go my yeah, yeah. It's like I have 3 weeks. Like I'm probably like I definitely want to play Avowed day one. So I'm gonna definitely put some hours into Avowed. At least from what I'm seeing in previews and stuff. Like for the most part, people are really enjoying it, saying it's like very akin to like Skyrim, but more condensed and better kind of like comparisons and stuff. So
Yeah.
I definitely want to check it out. Um, and yeah, it's like I'm really just the only thing that could suck too is like I've been playing Witcher 3 and the story's so good and it's keeping me so engaged. And it's like side quests are interesting. Like everything has a
Mm-hmm.
story. It's like the first game I played where I feel like every quest is like enjoyable.
It's
And
unique.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like there's so much uniqueness. And I've never experienced that in RPG until I played this. So I mean, well, maybe like New Vegas, but there's a lot of fetch quests in Fallout New Vegas, so it's
Yeah.
it's
I mean,
definitely better narratively, I think.
it's also a brand new world for you too. You've never really gotten to The Witcher
Exactly. Yeah.
before, have you?
No.
Yeah. So The Witcher 3 is a very good starting point. There are other
Mhm.
ones where other people would say like, yeah, maybe you should start at the beginning, but you kind of get what's going on, you know?
Yeah. And that was something I researched too. Is like, can I just dive into Witcher 3? Like, is it going to affect my
Yes.
experience that much? From most of what I read, they were like, no, you can like if you really want to do it properly, it's like you read the books then play the games. But it's like,
Yeah, that's what I was
but
gonna say.
like
It's like,
most of the
at what
lore,
level
yeah,
do you want to be competent? Like, do
yeah,
you want to enjoy a new game and then it kind of explains things for you?
yeah,
And if you read the books, you get more context. Like anything, you play the previous games, you get more context. You're a little bit more
yeah,
invested in the story. But I mean, Witcher 3 doesn't really shy from doing that.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, it does a great job, like kind of. I like the little kind of like story beats and stuff too, where it shows like the animations and stuff, kind of telling the story. I think it's pretty
oh
cool.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, there's like a section two at the beginning too, where you're answering questions about events in the previous games, which I didn't realize until like much later. I was like, oh, I don't remember what I said because I just like gave
Oh yeah.
answers and I had no idea what was going on. I was like, oh, what is this? And then now I finally realized like, oh, that was like previous content that influences what could
Yep.
happen later in the game. So I was like, oh, okay.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. You got
So
to be paying attention, man. Got to stay strapped.
yeah. Dude, yeah, I've already gotten to one of the sections where it's like, I've made significant choices that have sort of affected characters throughout the rest of the playthrough. And so I'm already
Oh yeah.
getting that where those decisions are like, influencing everything. And so yeah, dude,
It's gonna
it's
keep
crazy.
coming too. Dude, the thing that absolutely killed me, man, is seeing your status on Discord today.
Yeah,
Toss a coin to your Witcher song.
yeah, dude.
Like it's
That's
funny.
dude, it's like the
He's gonna
meme.
start watching the show soon.
It's the meme that like because I've heard that meme so many times, and so it's like it's just what pops in my head when I think Witcher now. It's like I don't know, it's just
Yeah.
funny. But yeah,
Yeah. The
dude, I don't
Witcher's a
know.
fantastic story.
Yeah, dude, it,
Very
it
cool.
really is. Yeah, I mean, I'm blown away because I honestly wasn't. I was kind of skeptical of like people say how good the story is, but like how good is it actually? And like it's one of those things where just hours pass by and I don't even realize that hours are passing by just because I'm so like just engaged. So I mean, there's some I will say there's some dialogue where like my mind just veer off a little bit and then I'll miss like a couple lines and I'm like, oh, I hope that wasn't important because it's just like I was like looking at something on Discord or like was distracted. So. But so far, I don't think it's really affected me too much. So
Yeah.
yeah, man,
Very cool, man.
I'm really enjoying it. It's probably gonna be has a chokehold on me, like a full Nelson, if you will. Just like I can't get out, dude. So
Yeah, there's no way you're gonna be playing a new game anytime soon.
oh
You're
man,
you're ruined for at least a
yeah.
month.
I just hope
But
I just hope with the Avowed, like I just the stories. I'm hoping the story's good. I have faith in Obsidian, but it's just like. But there's so many people also too that are like, oh, once you play this, dude, good luck trying to find a story that's
exactly.
comparable. And it's like, oh, great, sick. So
So cool, man. Yeah, man. That's pretty sick. Dude, for me, I haven't had an opportunity to really play new games at all. I've been like kind of swamped with work the last like 2 weeks. And luckily, most of the deadlines are going to be finished either tomorrow or the day after, and then we're going to be smooth sailing again. So I got to get over this hump so that I am good to go. But watch a little bit more of like Kane's hockey. But when I do have free time, man, I'm still grinding Marvel Rivals. Still grinding.
Yeah.
I need to be getting ranked up though. I keep playing with my boys that are quick play, and they're all just trying to like learn the game and stuff.
Yeah.
So very very let down. But however, I think for the month of February, like what we talked about last week, I'm gonna start picking a game and just start chopping it down. You know,
Yeah.
going after
Telling you.
like maybe a bit of a review, similar to what you did with this The Witcher, just because this is your new game. It's like,
Yeah.
what's the report card
Almost a 10-year-old game,
that
but
we
yeah,
can?
just give a status. But
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, but like you got to remember too, because we're not the only ones that have experienced The Witcher. So,
Yeah.
and it's also been out for like 10 years, and the show's now popular. I have like my own opinions about like season 4 coming out, but the point is it's like a very well established IP, and you get new people into it talking about it again. It could like revitalize some people to be like, oh yeah, I don't have to play like the new stuff coming out. I can go retry an old game, or maybe they missed that and they're interested.
Yeah.
Like inspire more people to play.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It like just came to mind too, like player count stuff for like these older games, like Red Dead
Oh,
Two.
they keep going up.
Red Dead Two, since it went on the Rockstar Publisher sale, and it was like cheapest it had been, or closest to the cheapest it's been. They actually experienced like an all-time high player count on Steam this past weekend because so many people bought it and were playing it.
Wow.
Because it was like because the game rarely goes on sale and it's at a really good price right now. So apparently a lot of people bought it. So they're just playing
That's
it.
really cool.
Yeah, it's like
There's been a lot of
Rockstar
sales
gets a
going around like
surge.
in February, not just in like gaming, but just like I'm trying to buy new parts for a car to like replace some things.
Yeah,
They're all going on sale this month, like tires in particular. So kind of cool.
yeah, yeah, dude. I don't know. It's that time of year. Interesting, but yeah, there's a lot of I don't know, dude. If you're watching this and it's a week within a week of this episode coming out, like these games are on sale, which are
They are.
Red Dead, like some good titles for really good deals. So might be worth buying.
Yes, sir. Yeah, there's some good ones coming out too. But I am most excited to start getting into this week's
Oh
articles.
baby. Oh
And
my gosh.
yeah, one of the things, breaking news that I just found out. I don't know if it came up on the ticker down below. We still have that running, don't we?
Yeah,
For
it's
this
still down
episode?
there, dude.
Cool. Culture Crave tweeted this out, or well, blue skied it out, whatever you want to say, wherever you see it. Sony is no longer requiring PSN accounts for PC players on some of their games, which include Spider-Man 2, God of War Ragnarok, Last of Us 2, and Hero Zero Dawn. There will be free content if you sign up, though. So,
Interesting. Single
yeah,
player
just
games.
something
Okay,
to,
I like that. Single player games
yeah,
shouldn't require an online connection. Why do you need to link your
exactly.
account? You know.
Exactly. And you get free like information. So that broke today. And I figured it was worth mentioning because I just saw it, and now we can kind of pivot and jump into
Talk about Sony.
the Sony. Yeah, talk about Sony.
Oh, that's Sony, dude. Let's get into it. I found an article from Rebecca Valentine over at IGN. And so there's been a bit of a change at CEO, PlayStation Studios, SIE. So let's get into it. Hideaki Nishino, elevated to sole CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment. Hiroki Todaki promoted to Sony CEO. Herman Hulst will remain as CEO of PlayStation Studios. So Hideaki Nishino has been promoted to the sole CEO of Sony Interactive Entertainment. His new position effective April 1st, 2025. This comes from a press release dropped this evening on January 28th, the evening of January 28th, which also reveals that Sony CFO Hiroki Todaki is being promoted to president and CEO of the entire company. Places Kiichiro Yoshida, who served as CEO of the company since April of 2018, succeeding Kazuyo Hiria. It's definitely not how you say the last name. I'm sorry, I'm just trying out
Do
here.
whatever you can, bro.
Additionally, the CVP Finance Corporate Development and Strategy, Lin Teo, is being promoted to CFO. Just last year, it was announced that Nishino and Herman Hulst would split the leadership of SIE between them after former CEO Jim Ryan's retirement, with Hulst serving as head of PlayStation Studios and Nishino overseeing hardware and tech. With this change, Nishino now oversees the entire SIE operation, as well as leading the platform business group, while Hulst will remain in his role heading up PlayStation Studios specifically. Nishino has worked with Sony since 2000. Y2K, baby. Year 2000.
It's a
Previously
long
serving.
time.
Yeah, it's crazy. 25 years.
24 year, 25, yeah.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Previously serving as SVP, Platform Experience Group. I am truly honored to take the helm at Sony Interactive Entertainment, he said. Technology and creativity are two of our biggest strengths as we continue to focus on developing experiences that deliver entertainment for everyone. We will continue to grow the PlayStation community in new ways, such as IP expansion, while also delivering the best in technology innovation. I want to thank Herman for his expertise and leadership as he continues his role as CEO of Studio Business Group. I am deeply grateful for the PlayStation community and their continued support, and I am very excited for what the future holds. That was the article, Mike. Bit of a shakeup.
Yeah,
We got some
it's a bit of
levels.
a shakeup, but it's like kind of a long time coming, right? Don't you think? I
I mean,
mean,
yeah,
we knew about Jim Ryan's retirement. We knew that Jim Ryan had this policy of like trying to compete within the console wars of like who could sell the most. We got
yeah,
to get all the players we possibly can to Sony. And with this new appointment and all of these like basically the pivot of Sony coming now to like PC and then trying to be more about the PSN network and all this other stuff, it's just more change because it needs to happen. Like I feel like the gaming industry, specifically the platforms, are changing rapidly, like at a rapid pace right now.
yeah.
But very cool.
It always is changing, dude. I think what about Nishino's kind of statement he talks about delivering the best in technology innovation. Listen, um, I know a guy, Mad Mike, that has a very distinct opinion on PlayStation and televisions. That's pretty innovative, if you ask me.
Please.
I don't know, dude. It gets all with you, but in all
Si-
seriousness, I
yeah.
think they should focus on the cloud stuff a little bit more. I don't know, something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think they should. What's funny is side note, I'm gonna go to an expo in about a couple of weeks, and we'll need to probably reschedule a recording day to like Thursday or whatever. But there will be Sony like high exec people there,
Yeah,
and
interesting.
I'm gonna be pivoting and being like, yo, we gotta get this Sony TV out with a PlayStation on it. Help me out. We're trying to game in the office.
Yeah,
but yeah, so I think Sony's going to be going through a lot of like more revolutionary stuff in terms of the gaming sphere of things with PlayStation, and it's going to be a big shakeup. Anytime you have like a change of hands, a change of the guard, with the new leadership, usually some changes are going to come with that. It'll be very interesting.
yeah.
I think Sony's going to be the one to watch this year. I think the past 2 years, especially with the Activision Blizzard acquisition by Microsoft and Xbox, like that was their time, and now it's Sony's time. They gotta bounce back. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, I think I think I would agree with that. There's definitely some changes. Um, I think I also saw too. I mean, I mentioned an article. I feel like I also saw there was kind of some change ups too, where people were almost kind of getting demoted in ways, or like kind of moved lower in the company.
Yeah, it seems like
Uh,
they're moving them around and like restructuring, right?
yeah, it's almost what it seems like. And the running joke was like, "Oh no, this person is going from like a crazy multi-million-dollar salary to a smaller multi-million-dollar salary."
Yeah.
And that's kind of the joke. There's like, "Oh no, poor guy." But yeah, I mean, you get to these levels, it's millions, millions, and just a few people, right? Then you got your little guys, you got your engineers over here making
You
a
always do,
steady.
man.
Who knows? So I don't
Keep them
know.
down there.
The capitalism, Mike. Love
This is the way, dude.
it.
Hey, speaking of capitalism, real quick, just because we mentioned Xbox very briefly, and I talked about the PSN network. If you're curious what Xbox did, Microsoft had their earnings this today, actually, Thursday the 29th. The earnings report came out. In regards to Xbox, here's what's going on. So the gaming revenue declined by 7%. Not good. Xbox content and services revenue grew by 2%, and that's driven by Xbox Game Pass, probably means more members. And then Xbox hardware revenue declined by 29%.
Oh no!
Yeah,
What are
which
they
kind of makes
gonna
sense
do?
if you think about it, because the earnings are usually like 2.5, 3 months of reports. 2.5, 3 months ago was Christmas. That's usually when you get to see people start buying like consoles. They have excess money. I'm sure you're going to probably see a boost in sales around like tax time in the U.S. But it's worth mentioning those figures because I would imagine perhaps Sony is the same or somewhere near it.
Yeah, maybe. I
Yeah.
mean, Xbox is also the cloud. Look, this is an Xbox, Mike. That's the new slogan, right?
No, it's not. That's true. Yeah. Anything's an
It's an
Xbox.
Xbox.
This
This
is
is
an
an X. Yeah,
Xbox. This
this is an
this is an
Xbox.
Xbox.
This is an
This is
Xbox.
this is an Xbox.
It's
This
just
this is Tylenol.
nice. I think. No, I mean, like, I mean, it makes sense for Sony or for Sony. It makes sense for Xbox, right? Because Xbox
Yes, it does.
is
Yeah.
they're dude. Best thing I love about Game Pass, dude. They're play anywhere, dude. Play anywhere program. It goes crazy. You know, you can. It's
It
so nice.
is it is pretty sick.
So
I'm very excited to be giving that a shot when I go to the expo. It's down in Orlando, and I'm gonna try two different things. I'm gonna give you feedback, okay? Uh,
like it.
well, I'll give more detail when we get closer. But in terms of remote desktop gaming, not just necessarily Xbox, but Xbox is gonna be the easiest one for me. I'm gonna try to do Xbox Cloud Gaming locally on like my tablet, remote Bluetooth connection with the Xbox, and then I'm going to compare that exact scenario with tunneling into my computer and playing through my computer and
Interesting.
see
Interesting.
if there's any difference. Like, would it work
Gotcha.
better to play on the cloud from the device itself, or would it be better to play through the internet, tunnel into your computer, and then play that way?
It's a fascinating theory. I like this.
Yeah. So I'll report back,
And I'll
for
be
sure.
waiting.
But we're a couple of weeks out, but something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I like this thinking. Um. And dude. Yeah. I was pretty much it on Sony. You know. It's
Yeah.
just
Of
going on. I
course.
got some CEO shakeup, dude. That's about it.
Very cool. Well, it's always good to follow with what's going on with Nintendo or not Nintendo, Sony. Um, one of the things that I'm excited to talk about is Ayaneo. We've talked about Ayaneo and their product
And
lines multiple
Neo.
times. I hope I pronounce it correct. I'm pretty sure I do. I've
And
watched a
Neo.
couple of
That's
YouTube videos. Everybody pronounced it Ayaneo. At least I hope so. If I don't, get over it. This is gonna annoy you then. But The Verge writer over here, Sean Hollister, we've covered countless of times. Again, by the way, if you want to check out anything we're covering, links are in the description. So the title of this article is "The $900 Ayaneo 3 is the most exciting PC handheld the company's yet made, and it's such a gadget." Okay, I'm listening. There are a couple of things from the picture if we want to like kind of spectate a little bit, like a little bit of commentary. If you've ever used a Thrustmaster controller, I'm a big proponent, big fan of it. They have this modularity feature where you can basically plug and play, and it's held together by magnets. And what I'm talking about is your buttons, your joysticks, stuff like that. You basically like pull them in and out really, and they click together. They're held together by magnets. They have a sensor on them. It's really cool tech. Very cool if you want to have like multiple joysticks or different types of pads or extra buttons if you're playing a fighting game. They all or like a steering wheel even, which is pretty cool. Having like a miniature, like what do you call them? Like the little remote steering wheel where you have like
oh
the
yeah.
trigger
Like a RC
and then you
car.
can yeah, RC car, thank you. Yeah, those are really cool. But yeah, there's multiple things you can do with this. It looks like they also have a touchpad in this picture. Looks very clean so far. Let's get into it. So ANU builds the best looking handheld PCs in the business. Oh, this is probably paid advertising, by the way, but they're always been boutique. The 2023 ANU 2, for example, cost $1,300 for an arguably worse experience than the $400 Steam Deck. Okay, this
Oof.
is not an advertisement. Um, just killed the man. But that experience isn't dampening my excitement for the new 7-inch ANU 3. Not only does this one start at $900 within striking distance of the highest end handhelds you'll find at retail, it's the most feature packed portable he's ever seen. So, with two USB 4 ports, that's a big deal, by the way. You can do a lot of cool things with USB 4. And OcuLink, jeez, okay. RGB ringed Hall effect joysticks, okay, I'm in. And your choice of two seemingly killer screens. Perhaps most exciting, a way to finally fix a handheld's joystick and button layout to match your ergonomic preferences. Just watch. And then it shows this GIF for people that are just listening.
Oh,
It shows this module that it's like it pulls out. It's oh my gosh, you can even
the
switch
button
the
switch, dude.
directions of
That's
where like A, B, X,
crazy.
and Y are, completely customize it. Very
That's
cool if you're
impressing
used to
me.
like
What?
Nintendo or Xbox. That's
That's
very
actually
interesting.
sick, dude. What?
Joystick on bottom or joystick on top. This is really cool for people that have like children or you just have like small hands or maybe it's like a family of different sized people. It makes it more versatile so people can use this. It's like for anybody. Very, very cool. So Ayaneo, Neo, whatever. Neo is calling an Ayaneo 3 the world's first modular handheld because there will be other modular options too. An extra $139 buys a set of 6 modules that let you swap out the joysticks for analog sticks, a 6-button micro switch pad for fighting games, or even D-pads and face buttons with conductive silicon underneath for different feel. Dude, that's really sick.
That looks so
$140.
clean.
I just want to give a comparison here. The Thrustmaster gamepad, you can basically switch out both where your joysticks are, your thumb pad, and the buttons. Okay, so you basically get 4 different modules. And let me see if I can try to find you something a little bit more. I think it's called the eSwap Pro. If you get one of the modules, the controller itself is $180 basically. But I remember paying for the modules a couple of times, and they were not cheap. They were like $60, some of them. Like if you get 1 or 2 of these little joysticks, it's a monster to like really deal with. It's not very easy to find their store. This is why they get cooked.
Uh,
Uh,
got him.
but the point I'm trying to make is like it's actually kind of nuts how many feature sets you can get. You get 6 modules for $140.
It's crazy.
That's kind of wild. Very wild, I think.
It's
Yeah,
crazy.
like one of these is like one of these buttons is $20. A full set is 50, and it doesn't necessarily come with everything you want. Like the special versions that have LED lights is like 55. So for twice the set, for yeah, 1.5, no, 2.5 times what you pay for with like Thrustmaster, you can get a full thing for this. Very cool.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Um, that's I'm only comparing it to Thrustmaster because that's the only one where I've ever seen these
It's
modules,
kind
by
of
the way.
design.
Yeah, this kind of design, very cool. But importantly, going back to the article, but importantly, that basic module that lets you change your joystick and button orientation, swap joysticks, caps, comes with the handheld by default. And it's not only the feature ANU is impressively cramming into the $900 kit, while you'll only get a Ryzen 8840U and 16 gigabytes of RAM, or no, and 512 gigabytes of storage. That's kind of nuts. So there is no Z2 option. I'm not necessarily familiar with Z2 other than okay, so Z2 is AMD's handheld gaming chips.
Oh,
So there's no Z2 option. So you seem to be stuck with the Ryzen series. And the HX 370 model starts at $1,500.
God.
Yeah. You do get your choice of OLED or ISP or IPS, sorry, right away. Very cool. Gives you more options. That OLED screen is a 1080p, 144 hertz HDR OLED panel, promising 800 nits of global brightness and 110% of the DCI-P3 color gamut. Specs, which suggest it could even beat the Steam Deck's OLED's excellent screen. Yeah, that is very impressive. They're going like
Yeah.
top of the line with this, man.
Dude,
Um,
OLED, man. That's the way to go. I feel
yeah,
like it's the way to go with handhelds. You're going
I'm
OLED.
excited to see what Nintendo Switch 2 comes out with because we still don't really have all the
It
spec details.
better be OLED,
It,
Mike. Come on.
it better be. It
There's
freaking
no
better
reason
be.
not to be. When the Switch
Yeah.
had this the Switch the
Switch
one
V2.
the Switch 1.1 or whatever.
Yeah.
Was
Whatever
I
they want to
one.
call it. Okay, so let's continue on. So, like the Steam Deck OLED, it unfortunately doesn't have variable refresh rate for added smoothness. But if that's important, the IPS panel option does.
Oh,
Very cool. You get multiple options here. That's oh that sorry, the IPS panel has 120 hertz, 500 nit, native resolution, or sorry, native landscape landscape 1080p display, according to the company, with 7 milliseconds response time and only 100% sRGB coverage, and nowhere near as colorful as the OLED panel. So the 7 millisecond response time, I know a lot of people, especially like comp gamers, would be like, "Oh, it's not good, bro." 7 is still freaking good, and quite honestly, if you're gaming on a handheld, I don't think you're competing.
You're not. Yeah, you're not going to notice
Yeah, I'm
for
not.
a
I'm not
standing play.
attacking. I don't want to attack like the mobile gamers because the PUBG guys are very serious. But come on, this is for a specific audience or a
Yeah,
specific consumer.
yeah. It's kind of wild with their
On
variable
top,
that variable refresh rate. It's kind of wild. Like the OLED doesn't have it. I know there's some OLED
yeah,
displays, like the iPhone OLED is variable. So I don't know why they. I mean, it's probably more expensive, I guess. Obviously, I don't know.
that's what I think. I think they were aiming specifically for under $1,000.
Probably
Would
yeah.
be my guess.
That's probably one of the
Yeah, like
sacrifices, the compromise.
yeah, yeah. Because honestly, if you can, I don't know, not having variable refresh rate could have pretty ugly frame droppage in certain games. But at that
Yeah.
point, just turn down the performance data
Turn out
in
the
the
settings,
game.
bro.
Like, but yeah, seriously, it is what it is. Just be happy. You make concessions with whatever you purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah. On top of all that, the Ayaneo comes standard with both top and bottom USB 4 ports, both of which are capable of 65-watt PED charging, plus the still rare on handhelds OcuLink Pro for E GPUs. And it takes full-length M.2 2280 SSDs for easy storage upgrades. Very cool. I
Oh,
love
that's.
love upgrades where
I
you
don't
can
care
just
about the.
buy
I don't care
yourself.
about the 512 GB thing when I just pop in a 2 TB. Like, come on.
Exactly. Wait for the sales to come up. Go out there and find yourself something nice.
Easy. I mean, I think the eGPU thing's sick too. Could like link it up to a GPU to get more power. Crazy.
Yeah, it's very true. Continuing on, we got a little bit more things going on. So, plus, there's a dedicated hardware mode switch on the bottom edge to switch the controller and virtual mouse and keyboard modes. Kind of cool. Um, Sean over here doubts that will make up for the current state of Windows. I mean, that's fair. Current state of Windows, I've been kind of struggling here and there, but it could help. Also, new trigger locks for the Hall effect triggers, and if you want to switch them into a hair trigger mode, so you have
That's cool.
even more options. Sean over here says he has a couple of hesitations, even without having touched the ANU 3. So, what does he have to say? The company says its modules electronically latch into the frame, you know, to eject them by pressing a software button. Okay. Which activates a motor to release the latch. Sounds
Huh.
potentially fitty.
That's very interesting. It's not hardware.
Yeah, that is kind of odd.
Because if that
I wonder
breaks,
why wouldn't they just go with magnets?
yeah, no, I feel like there's a better solution for this, like magnets.
Yeah, I think
I don't know.
I think this might be one of those moments where they possibly over-engineered it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, which you
I
hate to
don't
see, but
Yeah, I don't want to yeah. I'm just thinking about it. What if you accidentally damage the handheld, either dropping it or like spill water on it? Anything can happen because it's modular. Or you can, what is it? You can take it anywhere is what I'm trying to say.
yeah,
And yeah, anything can happen. So having it software only is kind of odd.
yeah,
I would
no,
hate to like pry it out.
yeah, because then if it fries the board, then you're screwed. Can't.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's very odd.
Who knows? I'm sure they tested it, or maybe that just got through testing and they didn't think about it. Whatever. So,
Hmm.
second, Sean over here is sorry to report that the 1.5 pound handheld only fits a 49 watt-hour battery. Okay, whatever. Kind of stinks, but it is what it is. Even though the Asus ROG Ally X manages to fit an 80 watt-hour pack into roughly the same weight. Fingers crossed, but I wouldn't expect great battery life here, with neither a giant battery pack nor a particularly handheld optimized chip. Okay, yeah, that's kind of fair. Lastly, it's always important to point out that these products are crowd-funded, and while Ayaneo has a history of delivering its promised handhelds, which they do, they haven't always been great. That's very true because when they launch something, they kind of just move on to the next one and
No
stop
support.
supporting.
We're on to the next one.
Yeah, exactly. We move on now. And this is most ambiguous or ambitious one yet. If that sounds worthwhile, you can find the ANU 3 on Indiegogo here. So, little link to Indiegogo. And the company says the handheld should ship at the end of April. Here's the whole price breakdown, and I guess show it on the screen, let the people see. But essentially, you're going to have two different options here, either the AMD 78840U, which is the CPU for anybody that doesn't know any of the model numbers, because I don't know them off the top of my head either. And then there's another one that is AMD Ryzen AI 9 HX370. HX370 is the better chip. It's a little bit more powerful. Um, it also comes with more storage, it looks like, and not just storage, but RAM. Yeah, and the options are significantly more. You could be spending lots of money on this.
$2,100.
But the base model, the one that we covered, Starry Black, is the frame color, 16 gigabytes RAM, 512 gigabyte storage, $800. And if you want the controller kit, $140.
Yeah.
But if you do the early bird special, bro,
Get it
700.
early. Yeah, did you
Save
save money?
$200.
Save 200. Save 40 on the joysticks. Crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes,
64 gig, 4 terabyte retro power is 1,800 for the early bird, and then 2,100 for retail.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
That's a no from me, dog. It's too much.
Yeah, big no. I mean, like, oh, it's like the modular joystick stuff. Super dope. The fact that it's software, I'm not a fan of the fact that it's software release to actually get the joysticks out. But I mean, I think it's pretty cool. The button switch too. That's neat. I don't know. For me, I mean, if you need a customized experience, this might be a good thing. I don't know. For me, it's like I'd probably just rather try like the ROG Ally X or something. Just try something that's a little more kind of has some kind of I don't know, some expertise. I don't know. I can't think of the right word, but like has some experience and legs in the room. I don't know. It's like I want to try something that's been through some testing phases and been through some user kind of.
You basically want to go with a brand that's more well established and that
Yeah.
makes other things.
Yeah.
I agree with that, especially when you're spending that much money. I think it's just exciting. Again, I talk about this company almost the same way every time, and it's just like they're trying to be innovative and they're trying to do new things constantly and really like push, like I don't even know, like the bubble,
Push the
like
boundaries, man.
the boundaries, the sphere of influence. And I think it's good overall. People obviously buy it, otherwise they wouldn't exist. So for the people that do, I hope it's good, and I hope they get what they pay for. But report back and tell us what's going on, because yeah, I know there are plenty of people that like love these things and they'll buy every single one. So yeah,
I mean, yeah, dude. I heard I was listening to a podcast recently, and they were talking about Steve Jobs and how the famous quote of his goal is to try to make something that you want before you even know you want it.
Yeah,
that's kind of the goal. And so I commend Ayaneo for being like, all right, outside the box, let's try some different stuff. Probably hit some slam dunks, and I mean, you gotta commend him for that, because if you're trying to, like, you could get criticized or something, or whatnot, but if you just try to think ahead, that's where like the real innovation and the real chance comes to like actually hit on something big. So
yeah, 100%.
Gotta commend it, dude. Yeah, so
I do. Yeah.
Also mentioning the Windows, current state of Windows, it's kind of funny how and it's so funny, like things have been videos and stuff have been shown on my YouTube algorithm, but people like there's one guy that's writing a program with like a team. The whole idea of the program is that essentially it just fixes Windows from a fresh install. So like if you're a student or if you're a gamer, like it specifically runs scripts that like will remove pretty much all the bloatware from Windows that comes installed, and then just gives you some core packages, some core programs. And like if you're a gamer, it'll pre-install like Steam and like other launchers and whatnot. So it's kind of cool to see that stuff, but like it's just people that were like, yeah, Windows is becoming so trash that we're having to like give you an installer that fixes it.
Yeah, I think the problem is like if you understand tech stuff, you can deal with the Windows stuff. There are plenty of ways you can fix things. But yeah, you are 100% right. There are moments where I'm just like, dude, this is too much. We got to get this crap off. The only thing with the new Windows that's just been driving me nuts is when I hit the Windows key and I start searching for an application that I know I have, and sometimes they'll give me actual Microsoft Edge search results. And it's like, no, you don't understand. I was thinking about that like literally before we started. It's been a while since I had a chance to sit down at the computer the last like day or so. I want to make sure I can turn that feature off.
Yeah.
There must be a way. Has to be a way. So I got to find out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, also subscribe too. My algorithm. I saw good old Linus Tech Tips. He released a video where he took Steam OS and put it on desktop, and like it was like
Oh,
that
yeah.
was the whole thing. It was like because they don't have an official Steam OS like image release yet, and so he kind of had to MacGyver it and kind of like do a little workaround.
Really?
But he had to do some workaround stuff because it wasn't very much like it's because it's not technically supposed to be on like a full fledged desktop. So
Yeah.
and it's like not a
Yeah.
I forget the term of the OS, but the OS is like every time you boot it up, there's a lot of programs that won't stay. It's not like writable. I
Yeah.
forget what the term is, but there's a
Mm.
specific word that's on the tip of my tongue. I can't think of it. But essentially, it's like it's not really meant to be like an OS like Windows or something like that, where you install stuff and everything just gets kind of bloated and there's just a bunch of crap. Because they engineered it specifically for like the handheld so that it could be like gaming first, and then kind of if you want to do
Of
other
course,
stuff, you
yeah.
can. But yeah, it was pretty cool to see, and like he was able to run it, and it ran pretty well, and he was able to just like hop into SteamOS, play some games, and there was no like he said the main reason he wanted to do it because he just wants to get on his desktop and game. He doesn't want to have to worry about like boot up and like all the other
Yeah.
crap and stuff that go on a PC. So it's fascinating to
Well,
see.
did he do it on the? I know he has an at-home server, and he made one server like section on his rack. Well, I guess the server rack. He made a section specifically his personal computer that he games on. And he do it on that one,
No, this was like
or is it like
this
at
was a new
work?
build. I think it was like a new
Oh,
build
okay.
he was doing for like a video or something. And so
Very cool. I'm
it
gonna
was
have to
like
check that out. I haven't watched one of his videos in a while, so
yeah, I mean, it was cool to
definitely gonna
see
get into that.
because like he busts out the controller, he was like playing games, and it was smooth, looked good. And then at one point he was like playing he's playing Doom, and he still had the controller out, and and like the cameraman that was filming, he's like why don't you just switch mouse and keyboard? And like the realization hit of like, oh yeah, I can do that on SteamOS. And so he just like whipped out his keyboard and mouse and he's playing. Yeah, but it was funny to see, just kind of like how he got SteamOS to work on a desktop. It's like
He's pretty hilarious. There are a lot of things that I just find funny on that show, and it's so entertaining. Yeah, but
yeah,
that's good to see that.
what's
I don't
SteamOS
know
on
about
this
you,
thing?
but what I've noticed is like the rise of GitHub and allowing ordinary people step-by-step instructions to optimize the performance that they have for gaming,
Yeah,
um, and give you just more options. And to hear that more and more people are trying to like fix Windows for a particular user is really cool because maybe that'll inspire Microsoft to be like, oh, we need to when we do account setups, maybe we should try to gear it towards gaming or gear it towards business
Office
or
or
content creation. Yeah, like stuff like that. Because I know they already have different account categories like personal and business, but
yeah,
they should have more than that, you know?
yeah. I mean, if I'll have to find it and send it to you because it was fascinating. They like the UI is not really there on this program they made for like Windows setup. But like one
Yeah.
of them, I think, was a content creator pack, and it installs like OBS and kind of the base
Oh,
stuff you
very cool.
need for that kind of stuff. So it was kind of cool just to see how they did it. But hey, the Ayaneo 3, this thing could rock some Steam OS. I know it's not Steam, so it'd be kind of
Yeah.
like sacrilegious, but you could probably put Steam OS on this thing.
I know there's a lot of people that have been like kind of I'm not saying jailbreaking, but they're going through loopholes to
Yeah.
get Nintendo games on the platform
Oh yeah.
on these handhelds. So they're like, I don't need the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah.
Nintendo Switch 2 hasn't come out. Let's go with the new hardware.
Yeah. I mean,
See
yeah,
that a lot.
dude. I saw a video of some guy, I'd never even heard of him, but it was like he's a pretty well established tech YouTuber. He like flew out to CES with Asus and stuff like that. So I was like, pretty up there. But he bought, I think he bought a Steam Deck, but he said he bought it specifically for emulation. Like he didn't even buy it originally for the purpose of playing modern
Wow.
games on it. And he said, I think he said at first he like wasn't sure, but he said it's now his favorite gaming device. He like uses it very frequently, and
That's
he
so
wasn't
cool.
expecting that to be the case. But he's like, dude, this Steam Deck is like it's well done, and he's like, I'm using this way more than I thought I would, and it's my favorite way
That's
to play
great.
games now. It's like, whoa, okay. So
Hey,
it's cool to see that
that's
stuff.
how it happens, though. That's cool.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
All right, sick, man. How about we jump over to the next article of
We should.
discussion?
We should. Like, don't look at the time, all right? Just don't look at it.
Oh, I did. No, we're yapping. I blame you. You yapped for like 15
I
minutes
sure
about
did.
Witcher. But
I
hey,
sure
the cool
did.
thing is this ties into The Witcher.
Yeah.
So
And this is a quick article. It's not that long. So, Netflix's cloud plans include co-op and party games. It's coming from Jay Peters over at The Verge. And Netflix exec says that, quote, we think of this as a successor to Family Board Game Night or an evolution of what the game show on TV used to be. So Netflix plans to offer couch co-op and party games that it will stream over the cloud to TVs. Co-CEO Greg Peters said as part of the company's Q4 2024 earnings announcements this week. The company has offered cloud gaming as a beta to a subset of subscribers since 2023. So this news from Peters indicates that the company is going to continue to invest in it. Peters didn't say exactly when the co-op and party games might be available, but he did say that, quote, we think of this as a successor to Family Board Game Night or an evolution of what a game show on TV used to be. Netflix
That's
will also...
honestly a great idea, by the way. Just
it's
side
not bad,
note.
right? Not bad.
Not to like completely
Not bad.
interject, but I'm
Hey,
like, I like watching new shows, and
got me
I don't
intrigued.
know. Do you
Got
and
me
your
intrigued.
roommate have like a do you and your roommate have shows that you guys watch?
From time to time, yes. We're actually not watching anything right now, but like
Yeah.
typically, the
Okay.
three of us will get together.
Yeah,
And
that's what I'm
watch a
saying.
show
So
now
it's
and then.
like everybody has it's almost like a date night with friends, right?
Yeah, pretty
Everybody has a
much.
show you're gonna be
Yeah.
watching. Very cool. And if you could have like that show and then be like, all right, let's go play the game too. I like this idea a lot.
But, yeah. Hey man, all I'm saying is next show coming up is probably going to be Last of Us season 2. That's probably gonna be
Yeah.
next.
Let's
Anyway,
go.
Netflix will also continue to focus on more narrative games based on Netflix IP. Peter says those games are consistent fan favorites. We've got a lot in the library to work with there. The company's gaming division has seen some major changes as of late. Former executive Leanne Lumi announced she was moving to Annapurna Interactive, and last year the group got a new boss after the old boss moved to a new role focused on generative AI in games. Netflix has announced that it would be removing nearly all of its interactive titles and that it would be closing its AAA studio before it ever released a game. Yeah, very unfortunate stuff there from Netflix. Just kind of didn't even get to see the AAA behemoth powerhouse that could have been Netflix games, but here we are.
Yeah.
We get couch co-op games now, Mike. TV.
Hey, I'm cool with
games.
couch co-op games, to be honest. I think this is pretty
Yeah.
cool.
I mean, I am too.
Yeah, it is weird that they went from like trying to do cloud gaming similar to what Google Stadia was doing. Remember, it was like Google Stadia was doing it,
Oh
and
yeah.
then Netflix tried to do it. It imploded, and then Xbox is like, "Yo, hold my brand, brother. We're coming in and drop all their IPs," and they just crushed it. Yeah, dude, I'm excited about this. More narrative-based games going on in Netflix, and I don't really care what the games are as long as they're good.
Yeah.
Like I'll play, dude. I'll play different versions of like Squid Game after watching Squid Game.
Yeah.
That's
Why not?
really, really cool. I
I
like that
think
idea.
yeah, dude. I mean, the cloud stuff. I think there's certain aspects, and one of the reasons like Stadia failed, I think it was due to library kind of, there's I don't know the restrictive library, but also just cloud infrastructure just wasn't quite there, and I think it still
No.
to a certain extent isn't quite where it needs to be. You give it a few more years, and it's gonna be like truly like, all right, this is the way to game. Right now, it's kind of just like, I don't know, I think it's just not quite where it should be. I will say, playing stuff on my home network, especially on like cloud gaming through xCloud and stuff like that, generally has been a good experience if I'm playing on my PC or I'm playing on my console. Like, it's generally a good experience. But yeah, I mean, even on the phone on a Wi-Fi network, it's not bad. My experience, it's been playable. It's not like it's just completely unplayable, but yeah, man, I think for a lot of people, probably it's still just like not quite where they want it to be. And
I
so,
don't think it is.
hey, man, we're getting there. But I think it just needs a little more time for the cloud infrastructure standpoint.
Yeah, I agree with that. Hey, what do you think about this? Does Netflix do watch parties? Do you remember that feature? You could do
I
that
think at
feature
one,
on
I know,
Xbox.
yeah, I remember the Xbox feature.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of
So for those
outside
of
of that if
you,
it was anything like that. I don't know.
yeah, well, for those of you that have never heard this feature before, Xbox used to do this where you can create a party chat and you can watch things together
Yeah,
at the
it's nice.
same exact time.
It's nice.
And it was basically like you guys were in the same room. That was the whole purpose of it. It was a very, very cool feature.
Awesome.
They kind of went away and died. I don't know if that's because people weren't using it or if it was like license or copyright stuff. I think Netflix should bring that back. I think that'd be very cool if Netflix brought that back. And it would be even better if you could like tie in and do co-op games. And I was reading the comments. Very good point. Have you played Jackbox?
Oh yeah.
Do you remember that game?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Imagine playing that, and then all these like Netflix remotes have microphones on them. If they somehow perfected the remote for gaming, so you can properly communicate through it with your friends, you can operate and use that as like maybe the remote control, and then you can hear your friends through your TV. Think about like the possibilities of that, especially for family members that are so spread apart. I feel like everybody's more spread apart than they've ever been in terms of like family life.
Definitely. Yeah.
So having those moments would be very cool.
Would be very cool, I think. For a lot of people. Um
Yeah.
yeah, dude, there's opportunity there for sure with Netflix and doing something like this. It's just about execution, Mike, at the end of the day. Can you execute?
It truly is. And what they did was record-breaking profits and laid off a bunch of people. So we'll see
What?
how that ends
And
up.
what else do they do? We hike prices, baby. We add ad tiers.
Oh, that's right.
We
That's right,
also
baby.
do not allow you to share passwords anymore. Sorry.
Yep.
Can't do it. You better
Already
get your own
proposed it.
subscription. Pori.
Yeah. You broke boy.
It's insane, dude. Yeah, that's one thing about Netflix I just was not a fan of, is getting rid of that. I don't even know if it's affected their profit margins. Maybe. I don't like I have no idea financially how it's affected them, positive or negative.
I don't know.
I just feel like
there's
it's
ways to get around it,
yeah,
but the point is like the average person won't.
I
There's
just feel
plenty of people that stop, like they cancel their subscriptions and they're
literally,
done with Netflix.
yeah, just don't
So
just
yeah.
interact with the platform anymore. So I don't know. I just think the password sharing stuff is like, and like Netflix tweeting out like true love is sharing your password, and then 5 years later,
Yeah.
like, you know what, we got you, we got you, boy. Like, all right, dude.
Yeah.
You can't
Corporate
share
greed, man.
anymore. It's just crazy, man. That's the one Netflix practice I was not a fan of, is the password sharing, because
I'm
I feel
curious.
like because you're still making millions and millions and millions of dollars, Mike. You know what I'm
Oh, that explains it.
saying? Just a realization over here.
Yeah, all I did was type in Netflix stock price.
Mm.
Boom, Netflix Inc. on the NASDAQ 5 years ago, $345 a share. It is now $978 a share.
I stand corrected here. It's
Yeah,
positive growth.
it is very
What?
positive growth.
That's insane.
Oh my goodness.
That is
Yeah,
actually insane, bro. Why didn't I buy Netflix stock? All right, now I'm pissed. All
you're telling me, bro. There's a lot of things that I could have bought a long time ago
Oh
that would
man.
have made my outcome in life vastly different. We could be in a full-fledged studio on my farm in the middle of North Carolina, and that, by the way, that would be my third property, bro. If I just listened to that moron in college and bought Bitcoin when it was 20 cents.
Be a Bitcoin bro, dude.
Dude, I would be that obnoxious guy with the big Bitcoin logo on my chest with a big Bitcoin
life
gold
be very
necklace.
life be very different from Mike.
Yeah.
Very different.
But it ain't always about money, dude. Sometimes it's about tech innovation and
It really
crazy
is.
stuff that's going on.
In the AAA cloud space, you mean? Is that what you're
Yeah. We're talking about China. Um Oh my gosh. I'm an idiot. All right, so this one's coming from Comic Book, the next article, the final article of the episode. If you're with us, we appreciate you, of course. There was big news. A bunch of nerds. I can say that because you and I can say that. We're both super
Thanks.
nerds, both engineers. Um, but basically, there's an AI cloud model that came out of China that rivals NVIDIA and OpenAI. OpenAI is ChatGPT, for those of you that don't know. They apparently did this. This is all he said, she said stuff. We're still waiting on like clarity and more information to come out. But apparently, a handful of team members, I don't know exactly how many people, but they spent about $5.5 million of investment to create something that is just as powerful as rival AI. And it seems pretty fascinating. So I wanted to talk about it. One, because I want to learn more about AI. I find AI very interesting. It's kind of soon to be decided whether or not it's going to be the future. But this had a ripple effect on the economy, made headlines, felt like it was worth talking about in relation to cloud gaming. So, title of this article by Matthew Murphy is How DeepSeek's AI Tech Could Revolutionize AAA Cloud Gaming. Okay, let's see what he's got to say. Could we witness the next advancement of artificial intelligence within the gaming industry? In a surprise turn of events, the latest AI model launched by a Chinese AI startup, DeepSeek, has caused a huge deficiency within the US stock market, with drastic drops seen within AI model companies like NVIDIA and OpenAI, which have led the AI movement within the United States. With over 1 trillion in AI investments among major US companies, this technical advancement from China, reportedly made within 6 months, which is nutty, has emerged as a strong rival within the technology sector, achieving a level of performance on par with what 2,000 NVIDIA H800 chips can process. Could we see an advancement shift within AAA cloud gaming industry from DeepSeek V3 model? So I don't want to get too much into the jargon. Basically, the name of the AI, DeepSeek. Everybody kind of knows NVIDIA. Google has one. Google's is called Gemini. If you have an Android phone, you probably have seen this. If you use Google at all, it's that little diamond that pops up and it says like, uh, I think it's a diamond. Yeah. I mean, whatever. Star, I guess. Diamond pops up and it basically summarizes your search results when you ask questions into Google.
Oh
It's
yeah,
pretty cool.
yeah. Dude,
You've seen it. Meta
Jim,
has one. Yeah.
the Gemini like phone ad for the new Google Pixel phone. If that's how the AI actually is IRL, like
Mhm.
that's actually kind of sick because you're having full fledged conversations with an AI. Like
Oh
it's
yeah.
crazy.
Oh yeah. Dude, I can do that now.
It's wild.
It's built into my phone. I have the
That's
Samsung
insane.
S24 Ultra.
You could literally
That's one
just
of the
ask
reasons.
whatever and it just have a
Dude,
conversation with you, and
when
you
I
could
sent
like,
you the video,
yeah, yeah.
oh, okay, you already know this, but
Uh,
I'm gonna explain it for the people that are listening and viewing. I have a phone, and for those of you that don't know, I am colorblind. I can still see colors. It's just I get them confused frequently. And one of the troubles for me for the longest time is sometimes I just don't know what colors things are. So I try to stick to very like basic colors when I get dressed, so I don't look like a fool, right? Like that's a concern for me. I don't want to look obnoxious wearing crazy colors. Um, so what this app did, and I had the recording, I sent it to you. I can open up my camera app, just my ordinary camera app, because AI is built into the phone. I can point it at different objects and it will tell me what it is. It'll read it out loud for me. This is before I even take a picture. I can switch it so it'll tell me what color it is and it will like read the color out loud.
it's
It
crazy.
was pretty accurate. Like I showed it to you, the recording. I like zoom in on a paperclip that's black and it's like black, and then I
Yeah.
zoom into a board and it's like silver. I, then he couldn't hear the voices because I turned like the audio off. But it was very cool. It could like help out a lot of people, is what I'm saying. Especially people that are like have really difficulty seeing. It's like if you lose your glasses, if you're technically blind and you can't read things, it will also translate stuff for you. Bro, I was reading a beer menu in German. Like I was at a brewery and
Yeah.
the beers were in German. It had the description all in German. I hovered over with my phone. I clicked because it like highlighted the text in German. I clicked on it and it auto translate to English.
Oh,
Perfect.
it's
It
crazy.
was nutty. Yeah.
That's
So
wild.
there are things where it's like it's bridging the gap that like for a lot of people in good ways. Now it comes with the cost, of course, but I don't want to get into that right now. Let's just talk about like what could be happening in gaming. So for some clarity, DeepSeek created a model with less than 6 million USD, which is impressive given the amount of money already spent within the US tech markets with Nvidia, Meta, Google, and OpenAI's ChatGPT. The DeepSeek R1 model is 20 to 50 times cheaper to use than OpenAI's O1 model, which is shocking considering the processing power of ChatGPT. Technically speaking, OpenAI is focused on crafting a natural language processing, while DeepSeek aims to be more task specific. This shift in purpose can be a definite sign of how a system like DeepSeek V3 could impact cloud systems due to sorry, yeah, optimizing, my bad. I'm thinking about Marvel Rivals right now. Uh, hit the old bro. Uh, could impact cloud systems due to utilizing lower cost chips and less data. So DeepSeek's AI tech could spell trouble for NVIDIA and Microsoft. You get a big logo here for NVIDIA GeForce Now. So at the moment, the leading company for cloud gaming is NVIDIA's GeForce RTX, which is a platform for full ray tracing and neural rendering Technologies focus on delivering realistic graphics and fast performance. The service connects to your PC and can run high performance games online. In simpler terms, GeForce can transform any device into a top tier PC rig without the need for the expensive device itself. That's pretty sick, to be honest. Boasting higher resolutions, faster access to GFN servers, GameForce Now or GeForce Now servers, and maxed out graphics settings. NVIDIA has been leading the charge in bringing the best gaming experience to NVIDIA GeForce Now members across the world. So while discovery of DeepSeek has only hit the AI market today, this is a little bit late of an article, many questions whether this advancement can be put to good use for cloud gaming, which Microsoft are working on this format with Xbox Cloud Gaming. The potential rise in popularity for utilizing DeepSeek as a source could become plausible. The performance capacity is reportedly better than NVIDIA. It could run cloud gaming without the need for large amounts of data processing, which would reduce the infrastructure needed to do complex computing tasks. However, the DeepSeek AI model does not indicate its relevance in the cloud gaming sector. Yeah, it's going to be a while before we get true implementation. One of the things that I thought was really cool, a buddy of mine is more into this like part of the tech sphere than I am. He uses AI or wants to learn more about it. There are like security risks with DeepSeek. There, it's not as secure as it probably needs to be. But the one thing, like he would never use it, but the one thing that he was saying to me was the fact that they were able to create DeepSeek with the amount of investment and less power needed means that it could be a very big opportunity for other businesses and companies to take that meta, that strategy, like innovation and implement it into other factors. So it's like obviously Microsoft is going to be really into this. I don't know why people aren't mentioning Intel or AMD when it comes to AI. That's been weirding me out because they Intel in particular, if you remember, they were talking about their GPUs and their CPUs and bridging the gap so there's no delay and utilizing AI to get boosts in performance for games and just overall rendering when you're working to create like an ultimate workhorse. So I don't know why Intel's been left out in a lot of these articles that I see, but don't sleep on them either. Is one of my
So,
things I want to say.
dude, GeForce is just it's Nvidia, Mike. Kings.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
it's true.
Trillion,
I mean,
trillion dollars.
it's a fact. At the end of the day, in order to get AI to work, you need powerful GPUs, and top dog is NVIDIA. AMD makes affordable options. They're powerful too. They're behind the ball. Intel is trying to make GPUs as well, but I think where NVIDIA is solely focused on GPUs, I think there's a secret battle under the waves for like Intel and AMD to kind of like go after each other,
Yeah. I mean,
and
you're probably right.
implement it that way.
Probably right. Yeah, I remember kind of the Intel trying to essentially optimize the systems that utilize their hardware, which makes sense. Um,
Yep.
so yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I think the only thing so far from this article that I'm gleaming is he called Microsoft Merkersoft. Crazy
I
typo.
did?
No, he did. If you
Oh.
look at Merker, who's
Oh yeah, you're
Merkersoft?
right. Up at the top where you can
Merkersoft.
click on it. Yeah.
Merkersoft. That's so funny. I was like reading that. I was like, you
That's
read it as Microsoft, but like I just read it and I was like, it says Merkersoft.
I was wondering why you were looking so intently at the text. I was like, there must be something going on. My man is
That's
locked
funny.
in.
Nah, dude. It was,
That's funny.
yeah, there's just, it's what you get from comicbook.com, No shade at comicbook.com. Just saying. It's kind of a quality you
Yeah,
get, I
yeah, yeah,
guess.
yeah. If anything, it's comic book is pictures, though.
Sure. I mean,
I'm
yeah,
just
it's
saying.
primarily pictures, right? It's supposed to be.
You're
But
saying
hey,
consistent. Who reads anymore? You know what I'm saying?
yeah. This is a wall of text, though, I will say that. There's one GeForce Now picture, which I commend them for adding a photo. It's a wall
Yeah,
of text.
yeah. Fair enough. There's one last paragraph. There's really not much to it. One thing to mention in this last paragraph, it just talks about how currently AI is not being used in the creation of video games. There's a whole issue with AI that a lot of people like kind of aren't talking about. And it's the fact that AI is sourcing material that other people have created, not just necessarily like research scientific papers, because that should be for everybody. Like if you have scientific data, that should be public knowledge for the sake of humanity. But in terms of artistic ability, story writing, storytelling, these AI generated artistic things, they got this learning, training information from somewhere. Nobody knows where. So it brings in the question of like what is copyrighted and what is not. I think we're going to get to a point where you're going to have to copyright your own self and your likeness, and everything you create will have to have like a license or a token attached to it. I think it's going to have to go that direction. Otherwise, I mean, anything, well, nothing's copyrighted at that point because AI is just sourcing from the internet, and the internet is everything. Yeah.
It's a bad situation, right?
Yeah.
Because
And
like,
dude, there's like no government regulations,
yeah, at all.
no initiative in like any country, maybe Germany or European Union, but
Well,
yeah.
lawmakers need to get on that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, they're all 90 plus years old. They don't understand any of this.
Got him.
Kidding me?
Got him.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean,
They're still using flip phones.
yeah, it's crazy. They're still writing on easels and pens. It's crazy.
What's it called? An abacus? The count the days of abacus.
Yeah. Oh man, dude, these
Jeez.
these politicians they got millions of dollars in that stock, baby. Running them stocks, dog. Let's go.
Yeah, they're cooking. Let's not get political though. Let's talk about just the implementation of AI and how either AI is going to eat itself, which I think it will, or it's just going to become one more tool that makes things a little bit easier for people, so long as you give it the correct inputs, like a calculator. You got to get the right answer. You need to understand how it works fundamentally.
Yeah.
So
that's very true, dude. You know, maybe Microsoft can save us, dude. Maybe they're the ones.
Yeah, maybe Microsoft. Maybe
oh
Microsoft.
Man, it's wild with Nvidia though, right? They have all the cards and stuff. They're releasing that AI dedicated, like what I don't know if I call it a PC. It's like a dedicated AI chip or something like that. Remember we talked about that?
Oh yeah.
It was like because they showed it off at CES, I think, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, Nvidia was it's basically like a $10,000 CPU computer or something.
Yeah,
crazy.
That's like an AI network essentially, like an AI kind of a neural network. I don't know what you call it, but it's like essentially your own personal AI. Essentially, you can work with. So
it's pretty nutty.
Yeah, it's wild. But yeah, dude. I mean, I don't know. It, like I said, the AI is becoming. It's so wild to me over the past 3-4 years how crazy AI has risen to like where it's a mainstay now, and everyone's talking about it. It's not going away. It's kind of it's you know the main. It just is what it is at this point. It exists. It seems like it's only going to get more involved in a lot of applications and stuff, but we're starting to see the ramifications and what we do if we don't regulate it or if we're not careful with it. And
yeah, there needs to be some type of oversight. You can't have something this powerful running around unregulated.
Yeah,
I mean, you can create like deep fakes of yourself. It's crazy. You can just like all you need is to take like 10 pictures of every single angle of your face, and you can just automatically spoof it into whatever you want.
dude.
And with a little bit of Photoshop rendering, a little bit of touch up, you can make that stuff look real.
Dude, talk about these old folks, Mike. Talk about these old folks, and you see one deepfake AI video of like a politician or a celebrity or something like that saying some wild stuff, and people are like, "That's real!" Like, and they actually think it's real. It's like most of the time it's just like some bad deepfake that somehow works. So it just tricks a bunch of people. So it's scary.
I recently saw this video from Neil deGrasse Tyson, who has his own set of issues, but he had a very interesting thought here and there. He had one about artificial intelligence. He said he made a prediction by the year 2028, artificial intelligence will kill the internet. And basically what he said is like, it was something along the lines is people that believe in fake news will get their news from elsewhere, and then eventually AI and deep fakes and all this different stuff like faking everything with AI rendering will then infiltrate into their then news, and then nothing they will believe ever on the internet is real, and that all of it's fake, and it basically eats itself.
Hey man,
because you can't get the truth.
I mean, I won't say it's impossible. You know,
I don't know. You seen Black Mirror? That's what we're at, bro.
Dude, there's so many people that reference Black Mirror and like how like crazy it is and how like doomsday kind of esque. A lot of those episodes are. I've never seen it, but I feel like if I want to
Oh,
give
dude.
myself irrational fears, then I should just watch that.
Oh my gosh, don't do it in dry January. I'll tell you that.
I don't participate, Mike. Even though what's kind of funny is I have like involuntarily participated because I don't think I've drank this December. So it's just like
That's good.
I just I'm participating even without trying to. So I just haven't drank.
That's fair enough. I'm looking forward to Saturday. I get to watch my favorite team play, and I'm gonna be sipping a beer.
Man, hey man,
Sipping a beer with
Hey,
the old man.
I commend you because that's a very responsible thing to do. I know a lot of people like, even though like they don't have problems obviously or anything like that, it's still good to be like every now and again just like, no, you could quit for a month and be fine. kind of
Oh
thing.
yeah, dude. It's a personal level. It's like lying to myself saying I don't drink too much because I took a month off.
Hey man,
You
I
know?
could do it. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying I can quit at any time. I swear.
Yeah. Oh man, alcohol. Well, this is the thing. There's gonna be a lot of games to drink to in February, Mike. For being honest, a lot of releases coming out.
Yeah, excellent segue, brother.
A lot of releases
Yeah,
coming out.
I'm most excited to talk about this as well. One of the things that I like to do, and I'm sure if you're in the gaming sphere at all, you have heard of this guy, Game Ranks.
Yep.
GAMRANX. He's on YouTube. He shows a whole bunch of different games. He has a lot of cool thoughts. He kind of does what we do, but they're more broken down into individual like segments.
Yeah.
Whereas we just like hit you with an hour and a half,
Word
like
vomit.
right off the top of your dome piece. Yeah, so there's a couple of cool games coming out. Right off the bat, he dives into Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. There's been a bunch of hype on this game, dude. It is
A lot
so
of hype.
sick.
Yep.
Yeah, it is going to be on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. It is starting February 4th. Very, 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 very cool.
A week.
You get to basically role play as a knight
Mhm.
and fight battles, and you're in medieval, it looks like England.
Yeah, I mean,
Very cool skirmishes. It seems like it has an in-depth story mode.
oh yeah,
Quite honestly, I don't know a whole lot about this,
yeah, it's
but I love the era.
I've grown to learn a decent
Or-
amount about the Kingdom Come Deliverance games from just seeing previews and people talking about it because there's a lot of people that have already gotten early access to the game, and so they've been playing it and kind of giving their thoughts. It's very much it's kind of like a hyper realistic medieval RPG. It's got a lot of RPG elements, but it's very much you're kind of like it's not handholdy at all, and it's put it this way, it's an RPG where you could get a quest, right? Well, first of all, if you show up to get the quest and you're like dirty or you're not dressed correctly in the area you're in, they can actually like turn you down and be like, you need to like go clean, you stink, kind of thing. Like it's that detailed. And so like assuming you do all that, you're good.
Wow.
You can get the quest. The way it's structured is you get the quest, right? And they'll say like, okay, we are going to go save this animal or this person in the woods because they're lost. We don't know where they are, kind of thing. And the person that's giving the quest will be like, all right, we are leaving at dawn, so be ready at dawn. Every other RPG, Mike, you're playing, right? It could be days and days that pass, and you just don't start the quest because you're doing other stuff, distracted, whatever.
Oh,
well,
no way.
Literally.
You come back and they give you a hard time?
No, literally, and it's even better. So, like, if you don't show up, like, on time, then, and you go, like, if you go, like, a day or two later, for instance, like, in some cases, the person won't be there because they're off doing the quest, or they come back and say, oh, no, I already did that. Like, you never showed up. So, like, you don't get, like, any rewards or anything. Like, you just missed the quest. Like, it's that level of immersion. Everyone has their own lives.
For me to handle.
Yeah, like, it's the definition of not handholdy at all, from what I've heard.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like, it's one of those things, like, for some people, I don't know about a lot of people, but for some people, it just may not be for them because it's very grindy, very much like, the goal is they want to get you immersed in this world, like you actually live in it. And so it's very much like everyone has their own roles. Everyone, like, you have to make sure you maintain your appearance and you bathe. Like, it's just, you have to live a life essentially. So, all while trying to complete quests and further along a very detailed narrative. So I've been told. So,
well, I'm glad you said that because honestly, dude, I had no idea. That's pretty sick. That's really cool.
I mean, yeah, Mike, from what I heard, I'm pretty sure the first game is like upwards 70, 80 hours or something like that. It's a very, very long game.
Oh my gosh.
So, and I'm pretty sure Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, they have the bigger budget, the bigger team. From what I heard, they're doing it right.
Successful.
And
yeah.
They're actually doing the Kingdom Come Deliverance they wanted to originally ship. So I can only imagine how much more detailed and longer this game is probably going to be. But I mean, I don't know. From what I've heard from people who've played it, they said, I mean, it's like I said, it's a certain type of RPG, very hyper realistic. So it may not be for everyone, but it's it's an RPG nonetheless. So I think you actually play as character. I think his name's like Henry or something like that. He was in the first
King
game, so
Henry.
it can
No.
so like you continue on that story as this person, and so yeah. But from what I heard, though, the writing's pretty good, and like there's a lot of like funny kind of moments and little quirks and stuff like that. So I think story wise, it's probably good. I don't know, Mike. It like I think like your sentiments is kind of the same as mine. I don't know. I'd have to probably see more reviews and be like, okay, is there something I actually want to try someday? Because it seems
Yeah,
very very intense.
honestly, like what's funny is the way you talked about it got me really interested, but I still need to see
Yeah,
how much in depth it is.
yeah.
Yeah,
And just one more sign,
very
we'll
cool.
move on. Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the first Kingdom Come Deliverance, there's a hardcore mode, right? And it's so funny because I watched a clip of Co Carnage. He started up a hardcore mode. And like when he
Yeah.
started it up, he immediately got a "you died" screen, and it gave him a scenario when he was a kid and he died. So, and then I later learned if you're starting a hardcore mode in this game, there's actually a dice roll that happens before the game even starts, and it's whether or not you survived your childhood leading up to where the game starts. And so it's kind of like a funny little like homage they did to like this is hardcore mode, and it's funny because like back then there was probably a lot of kids and people that didn't see past 30 or 40, right? Like 20. So it's like it's the kind of a funny thing they added of like, well, assuming you pass the initial dice roll that you have no control over, then you can start the game in hardcore
Yeah.
mode. It's really funny. But yeah, I don't know. It's something the devs put in. But yeah, dude, it seems like a group of talented devs that are making what they want to make, and I don't know, dude. I've heard good things, but I gotta see more. Let's see if it's something I actually
Okay.
want to try.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. Always good to check more games out. Speaking of more games, let's hit the next one. The next one over here is Lost. What is this? Lost Records, Bloom and Rage.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. I honestly don't know much about this. This isn't really for me, but it looks like it could be a music game.
Yeah,
Story-driven content a little bit.
it reminds me a lot of like, at least from what I've seen, the early impressions, like a Life is Strange style sort of
That
slice
that's
of
what I thought
life,
too.
kind of like a mystical.
Yes.
Like I think there's some supernatural stuff in it, but it's kind of like a, you're, you're a teenager and you're with your friends and you're discovering the magical stuff that happens in this forest. I don't know. That's what it seems like. So yeah,
It looks very fun. It could be cool story-driven content. I know there's plenty of like gamers. This could be very successful for people that are streamers, I think.
yeah, it's probably a good stream game. Yeah, I would
Yeah,
say.
it'd probably be a very good stream game. Just to go like through the story-driven content, you get to like interact with your chat. Like, oh god, this is cool. And like good React content. That game is coming out on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. The next one is the Tomb Raider remastered,
Oh baby,
which is
Tomb
pretty
Raider.
sick. 4, 5, and 6 remastered. If you like the Tomb Raider games, never played them before, you only like the movies, the shows, or whatever, go check out Tomb Raider. Tomb Raider is really, really cool. Hopefully that'll inspire people to play like Tomb Raider. What's it called? The more recent games.
Yeah, Rise of the Tomb Raider and
Yes, Rise of the Tomb Raider
yeah,
and yeah,
because
all
there's
that.
just a Tomb Raider. I think that was like a reboot.
Yes,
It was just Tomb Raider. It
yes.
was Rise of the Tomb Raider. I think there was a third
Both
one.
those
I don't know.
games are dude. All these games, quite honestly, are amazing.
Yeah.
They're very, very
Yeah, it's a
cool.
good story.
Um,
Cool stuff. It's the I was gonna say I was gonna say it's the female Uncharted, but this was way before Uncharted. So
yes, it was. Yeah,
Uncharted
they were the
male
OGs.
Tomb Raider.
I mean, it's like story-driven content, really cool historical value. Ties into some things. It's also just awesome puzzles.
Oh yeah,
Dude, Lara Croft is a total badass.
yeah, for real,
Like, it's
for real.
very cool.
But come on,
Uh,
iconic.
yeah, that's actually coming out on Valentine's Day in the States, so February 14th. Yeah, PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, PS4, Xbox One, and the Switch. So literally every like generation, it seems like the last 2 generations, it will have it. Very cool. Yeah, I recommend people to play it because just Tomb Raider is a historical game. Very cool.
Oh, yeah. Yup.
Next one is Midnight Murder Club. Sorry, Midnight Murder Club. It's on PS5 and PlayStation, PC, and we don't actually have an official date for this.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, it's
I
just
mean,
sometime in the month of February it will
yeah,
launch.
it's releasing early access, so it is one
Yeah.
of those things. Yeah, do you like fun party games that would probably make good content for with a group of
Streamers,
people and streamers?
content
Yeah, there you
creators.
go.
Yeah,
This is that game. So nice little kind of shooter murder mystery sort of thing. So,
yeah, it could be very cool. I like the first person point of view, very thriller esque,
yeah,
kind of Luigi Mansion style game,
kind of doesn't
walking
rhyme.
around. Uh,
Is this? It makes you wonder too if it's like an Among Us style. Like there's a murderer, and you figure out who. I don't know.
yeah, they
There's
could
two
be.
teams. It looks like it's team based. So I don't know. Maybe it's not
Could
that. It's something else.
This one's kind of goofy. It is Big Helmet Heroes. So Big Helmet Heroes is coming out on all major platforms, first gen. So it is coming out February 6th. So just about a week and a half away. Looks like a good party game,
Oh,
you
got some
know?
dungeon crawler elements. A little
Yeah,
roguelite.
there's definitely
Okay.
done. Yeah, it's kind of like a side scroller, a little bit indie-ish,
Yeah, kind of a.
and
I was gonna say isometric, but that's. I mean, it's a weird.
yeah,
It's that
isometric. That's what I meant. My bad.
kind of looks like that.
That top-down isometric
Yeah,
view, very
yeah,
cool. The art style looks amazing. It looks like characteristics we've seen a lot in multiple video games.
yeah.
Just looks like a lot of fun. I like the
Looks
idea of
smooth.
like that little scene where spinning around with
Yeah,
not a katana, but like a staff, and you get
yeah,
to fly.
yeah.
It's like it
Combat looks
reminds me
fun.
of Sonic Tales.
I guess it looks to me like a little multiplayer action here, a little co-op
That's what I
action.
mean. That's what I mean by like a good party game.
Yeah,
Because if you have these different elements, it could be cool.
yeah. Looks like it runs really
Next
well
one.
too. Smooth, man.
Oh yeah. Sorry. You can talk about it.
Nah, that's all I had to say.
This one looks like an ambulance simulator
Oh, paramedic
and built
simulator.
in like
Nice.
Grand Theft Auto 5 world. But anyway, so it's Ambulance Life, a paramedic simulator. I think everything you need to know is right in there. A lot of people don't know this, but like paramedics are very similar to nurses in a lot of ways. Um, yeah, they're just trying to save people's lives best of their ability.
If you want to know what it's like to deliver Narcan, they just showed it like
Yeah, they just
back here. And just
dude, give me
injected
10 minutes, I'll play
Narcan.
this game and I'll take whatever RN exam there is and I will ace that. Be a registered nurse by the end of the week.
Yeah, yeah. See, Narcan. Yeah, but
Oh jeez.
that's what it looks like. It's like it's a paramedic simulator. You know, what I mean, you're delivering needles and saving lives, dude. She snapped her femur.
Jeez,
Hate
man.
to see that.
Yikes. I
Wrapping up,
feel
dude.
for paramedics, dude. They see some of the most horrible cases.
Oh yeah, that person is delivering a trach. Jesus,
Yeah, there's
it's crazy. Yeah, dude,
yeah.
that's profession, dude. It's a wild profession.
By the way, that's coming on every platform except for Switch, February 6th. So pretty cool. The next one, this one's a big one. Sid Meier's Civilization, the next Sid
Next.
Meier's game.
Civ.
All platforms, Xbox One and PS4 is included February 11th. I don't think
That's
we really
close. I
need
didn't realize how close
to
that was.
get yeah. Dude, it's coming. And I don't think there's really any description that we need to give. If you don't know what Sid Meier's Civilization is, I don't really know what to tell you. It's been around forever. Civilization building games, factions, wars, categories, eras, like this is
Listen,
it's a Sid Meier's game.
yeah,
You know
I
what I mean?
know. It's been around forever. If you want kind of an entry, a nice entry, if you have if you have a 360 lying around, Xbox 360, fired
You
up.
can get one you can get one cheap as hell, can't you?
I mean, yeah, probably. Look, fired up. Get Civilization, Revolution, Sid Meier's. It's a more condensed version that was on console.
Okay.
That was actually a lot of fun, and there's actually a way my buddy and I were able to kind of like run a simulator on our PCs, and we played it like just like a year ago or something like that. It's one of our favorite games because there's something about Civilization Revolution that's just like it's a more condensed version. It's more easy to understand. I don't know, man. It's just it's fun to play a game like that and go through the arrows and kind of try and win in multitude of ways. So it's a fun kind of strategy game.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Oh, is this the next game we're talking about?
Like a Dragon, Pirate
Okay.
Yakuza.
All right. So, yeah, Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza. That one is coming out at the end of the month, February 21st. It's on all platforms except for the Nintendo Switch. To me, it looks very similar as Assassin's Creed Black Flag in terms of the ship capability stuff, but it's also in a very interesting fantasy world of like being in Singapore, just nutty stuff. It's got me excited. I love pirate games, pirate movies, pirate shows, pirate everything. I went to a school for the pirates, bro. This is what it is. This is my
Yeah.
life. This is what I'm into.
It's so funny, man.
Very cool.
Yeah. Speaking of pirate games too, I actually bonded with my barber this past weekend because he played some games.
Oh yeah.
And so, and he's been playing games for a while. And one thing he was talking about it. We were gushing about Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag because he played it so much. He's like, man, I told you the one thing I loved is like getting out on the boats, sailing the water, and just hearing the sea shanties that your crew's singing. And they immediately brought me back. I was like, yes, like dude, that's my favorite part of that game. Just sailing the ocean. And I know like you're a huge Black Flag fan too, so it's like you just hear that and you're like, yeah, I get it. I absolutely get it.
Yeah, I get it.
So
basically, the way I look at it, my introduction to pirate games was Zelda Wind Waker.
Oh, okay.
My blossoming for love of all things pirate games was Assassin's Creed Black Flag. After that, I'm like, this is the best.
Yep.
Is the best it's ever gonna get, and that's why I got so upset over Skull and Bones.
That's what I'm saying. Trash. I was just gonna say, and then what did Ubisoft do to their pirate genre? Skull and Bones. Well, there you go.
Yeah. It happens, but this one looks pretty cool. It looks like a lot of fun. A little bit of Thrasher,
dude,
music elements.
It's Yakuza, man. If you want a game that half the stuff in it doesn't make sense, Yakuza's your game. It's like there's just it's funny, it's quirky, the Yakuza games are, from what I've seen, I think I watched Cocards play. I've watched tons of streamers play the Yakuza games, and seeing the reactions of just the random stuff that happens, and it's just there's a lot of like laugh out loud moments and just like what is going on moments. And there's things that just doesn't make sense. You're like, why is that in this game? That's Yakuza, so that's what I suspect that it's probably like. But Like a Dragon, I think the last Like a Dragon did very well. So
it did, yeah.
Which
it's been well received.
Most of the Yakuza games I think have done very well because they're so different. But so I imagine this is probably pretty good.
All right, so the next one is actually right up your alley. You've been waiting for it for a while. This is what you plan on grinding. Most anticipated game. You mentioned, your most anticipated game of the year 2024. Spoiler: it's coming out February 18th, 2025. It is Avowed. It's on PC, Xbox Series X and S. I don't know. How would you describe it, Kyle? I'll let you do it. You're pretty invested so far.
Yeah, look. It's like your standard kind of fantasy RPG, I think. I think what makes this special, Obsidian's making it. For those that don't know, Obsidian made 2 CRPGs that were entirely crowdfunded, which was kind of like one of the first. I don't know if it was one of the first, but it was one of like the few successfully crowdfunded games. So like Obsidian made Pillars of Eternity.
Yeah.
The Pillars of Eternity series. So there's 2 games of Pillars of Eternity. Pillars of Eternity 1 was entirely crowdfunded. They raised like millions very quickly to fund this game. It came out. It's very well received. That's why most CRPG lovers, computer RPGs, for those who don't know CRPG, But yeah, it was a top-down isometric sort of RPG that's kind of in the style like Baldur's Gate and kind of those Diablo, those kind of games. Very great, very well received, both 1 and 2. And they wrote very long games, but very good RPGs. All of that to say, it's set in a world. I forget the name of the world that it's actually set in, but what's nice about Avowed is it actually takes place in the Pillars of Eternity universe in that world. So it kind of ties in that way. And so it's a first-person Pillars of Eternity kind of game. So it's like, I think it's cool in that way too, because you go from like this isometric CRPG, sort of like traditional style RPG, and then you go into this, which is a first-person. A lot of people compare it to kind of like a Skyrim-esque style RPG. So that's kind of what this is. Been in the making for years. So it's kind of like one of those things. There's a lot of releases happening kind of, in the next couple months. I will say, I think this game is going to benefit from Assassin's Creed Shadows getting delayed a month. Because I think more people may like turn to this game to kind of try something new or check it out. So, I don't know, the review, like kind of the early access, people that played early access, they've been really enjoying it so far. So I guess we'll see I'm very eager to see full reviews, which hopefully we'll get in a couple weeks.
We should usually get them like right before they come out.
But the best part about this, Mike, it's on Game Pass, baby. Come on.
Yeah, it is, isn't it?
It's on Game Pass.
I always forget that I need to be excited for Game Pass because I pay for it. It's
Yeah.
just like, oh yeah, when? Oh yeah, day one. I kept saying that, day one at Game
That's
Pass.
the huge selling point, dude. It's day-and-date Game Pass.
Mhm.
So, I think it's definitely going to be worth checking out. But I don't know. I trust Obsidian. Obsidian made good. The Outer Worlds was good. That's another RPG that's kind of in the style, but more of like a, sort of. I was gonna say Fallout, but it's like a space sort of kind of genre. They had guns and stuff, and they're making Outer Worlds 2 this year, which is coming out. It's supposed to come out at the same time this year, or it's supposed to come out later this year. Avowed comes out in 3 weeks, but yeah, dude, it's an RPG. So if you're into fantasy RPGs, like this is one to check out. I think.
Yeah, it looks amazing. I
Yeah.
mean, you basically sold me. I got to check it out.
I mean, dude, yeah, just from the
The art
color,
style looks phenomenal,
yeah,
man.
dude, the art style is great. I think what people have mentioned too is like when it gets to nighttime in this game, the fauna and the flora, like you can just see from this
It
preview a little bit, like it's
looks
very
like
colorful and kind of different.
similar to your first experience watching like Avatar.
Oh yeah, like very
The
sort of yeah,
Yeah,
a lot of color, a lot of kind of very beautiful, I think. But I mean, and
yeah.
side note before we even move on, I've heard from previews too that people have been spending like 15 to 20 hours in like one sort of section or like one town. So I don't
Oh,
know how
you
big
were
this
telling
game's
me
gonna
about
be.
this.
I don't know how big
Yeah,
this game's gonna be, but it has a chance to be pretty big. So we'll see. I
yeah. I
mean,
remember you telling me about that. Like how more and more people that got early access are very much addicted to exploring the world, and they're like, "Oh crap, I can actually go here."
yeah,
That seemed to be the opinion. Is it's
yeah,
going to be big and like all encompassing. The only thing that has me worried is just the delays. I'm
yeah,
hoping that that's not a sign of something bad coming, like
yeah,
a poor release.
yeah. I mean, I'm hoping not. I think the early play tests and stuff have been positive, so that gets me kind of somewhat optimistic. I think about a release. But we'll just see. I mean, I'm mostly curious how the game is as a whole, because people obviously are getting review codes and stuff. So that's what I'm waiting for. Really, is what are those full reviews going to be like? What are people
Oh
thinking?
yeah,
Um, and it seems like they've already taken some community feedback, especially from early previews and stuff, and made adjustments. And that's
that's good.
probably part of the delays too, which is making some of those adjustments and play testing. I mean, I'm all for. I trust Obsidian with delays. I think for the most part because I mean, they know what they're doing, and so they don't want to release. I'm confident they'll release a good product. I think so. Obsidian's a developer I trust. So I don't know, man. I'm excited. I think the magic looks cool. Everything about it looks cool. The combat looks interesting and very actually faster paced than I imagined in kind of a fantasy style game. So excited to check that out. But yeah, man, I don't know. I could gush about this
Yeah, it looks very.
forever, I feel like, but it's
Yeah,
probably enough
it looks
about.
it looks really cool, and we're gonna have it out in the next 3 weeks. Really,
Yeah.
it's gonna be right around the corner.
Yeah, this is a game
Very cool.
I'll definitely be checking out, and I will give my impressions of the pod. So
Yeah, I'm curious if you're interested in this game. So this game is Hunter Wilds. It's on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. It's coming out at the end of the month, so February 28th.
yeah,
And I don't know, man. Have you ever played a Monster Hunter Wilds? They're very popular. They
see,
have a cult like
yeah,
following.
they have a huge following,
So
and pretty much
they do.
everyone that I've said is like, this is the big release of February. Like everywhere I'm seeing,
Yep,
so all the content creators are like, yeah,
this
it's
is it,
Monster
baby.
Hunter, so it's been a while since I've had an entry. Um, I've never personally played. I think I played maybe a little one of the earlier Monster Hunters for a little bit.
Yeah,
And I never got into it at the time, but I mean, just from, I mean, I can see why people enjoy this game because it's like these monsters look insane. The
yeah.
game, so
It's
so
it's gonna be it's gonna get a lot of attention. Everybody's gonna be talking about it for probably the entire month of March, is my guess.
yeah.
It's gonna
I
be
mean,
a
I
big
wouldn't be
deal.
surprised.
Um,
Um,
it
Potential
looks
game of the
amazing.
year contender because it's Monster Hunter. So I mean, it's been a
Yeah,
while since Monster Hunter has been around. I think just the name alone will probably. I mean, I suspect it will probably be. I mean, it looks good. So I mean, I don't have experience to really compare to previous games, but I mean, the IP alone is huge. So I wouldn't be
it is. It's
surprised if we.
massive.
Yeah,
It's really cool. It is basically what you need. Like you need to check it out. If you never played it before, definitely go check it out.
add to my
You
list.
said game of the year though. You know what's coming out this year. Hopefully,
Hey, man,
Grand Theft Auto
I'm not saying.
6.
I'm saying just a nom. I ain't saying this is gonna win. I'm just
Oh yeah,
saying
this is
I would not be surprised if this is a nomination. If this is a nominee.
if the hype is to be believed
Yeah.
and it's received with the amount of hype it has,
Unless it's
it'll be in the nomination.
yeah.
It'll be in
Unless,
the nomination
like I
for
said,
sure.
barring an ultimate cataclysmic flop, I think it's gonna at least be a nominee. So
It's definitely gonna be a nominee. I think it just the gameplay looks amazing. I'm hoping the story is there. That's the one thing for me.
yeah,
But dude, the art
yeah.
style looks sick.
There's a lot
This
of
is
hype
gonna be
around
cool.
this. So there's some bonus
Yes,
games,
sir.
Mike. Bonus games. Bonus games. I don't even know much about these, but hey,
There's not too much with the bonus games, to be honest. I looked through them earlier. They're mostly like small indie developing games that don't have a lot of notice or they're on the radar. The problem is with the month of February being such a short month and also being early in the year, you're not going to get big title games. But if
yeah,
you want to check out a full breakdown, go check out Game Ranks. He
Yeah,
does a fantastic job of just giving quick little snippet here and there of each
dude.
one of the games. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I love game ranks. I find myself watching their videos like time because I know it's a few guys. I forget the main guy. Is his name Jack? I forget the main guy's name. Um,
I always
I
forget.
apologize.
Once
I
one
apologize,
calls
guys.
himself Falcon.
Okay.
He's the main guy that I
Yeah.
think owns the channel.
Um.
Uh, you'll
Oh
hear
my
his
gosh, it's
voice
gonna
in
bug
almost
me.
every video.
It's gonna bug me now. I forget his name, but he's But yeah, one of the guys that actually works on the channel. He has like podcasts and stuff, and he has his own channel, and I respect his opinion because he just plays so many games, and it's kind of like he knows what he's talking about. But
Oh yeah.
I mean, they all know what they're talking about on this channel. Anyways, I think there's a lot of actually like they do a lot of top 10 videos and a lot of like kind of just breaking down games. The before you buys are always great. I watch those. But especially if it's a game I'm interested in at all, I'll watch the before you buy. Just because it's very nice that they just do like, here's our impressions and just raw, unedited gameplay, kind of just seeing what that's like. So you gotta respect them for that, not trying to kind of over edit and stuff. Just be like, hey, this is literally like, should you buy this game? Should you not? We'll tell you, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that kind of stuff too. I'm pretty excited. There's a lot to look forward to in the month of February. I'm most excited for like the month of March. There's a game I've been eyeing for a while now, and it's Split Faction. Very excited about that.
Oh yeah, Split Fiction,
Um, yeah, fiction. Thank you, fiction. I always say faction because I'm so used to like shooters when you have
Red
to
Faction,
choose a faction. Yeah.
Red Faction
Um,
Armageddon.
yeah, but there's a lot of things coming out. We're still going to be seeing more and more of the 50 series rolling out in terms of tech. So maybe the 40 series cars will start coming down in price. It'll impact the market in terms of like AMD products as well. Um, we're in that like transition period, getting into the new year, and companies get more comfortable in terms of tech. The AI revolution's here, if it wasn't already, and the new games, man.
Yeah.
Just this is gonna be cool.
Dude, yeah. Yeah, dude, there's a lot of hype I think that is coming out of this year, especially about the Xbox camp. There's
Oh yeah.
like so many rumors starting around about like
Oh yeah. I've
a
seen some of
lot
them.
a lot of them spawn I think from when we had that league years ago of their projected release schedule, and that
Yep.
and it was like and just seeing how far behind they are on schedule is kind of funny. When we look at it
Yeah.
now, but I mean, one that's come up recently that's actually like had some validity to it is the Oblivion remaster, which was in that kind
Ooh.
of slate of
That's right. Yeah, I
releases.
do remember that. That was
Um,
one of the like small little
yeah,
like game highlights in the
yeah.
timeline.
There's also a Fallout 3 remaster. Who knows? We probably won't see
Yep.
that this year. I think the biggest thing is though the Oblivion remaster is like actually starting to get some legs, and people are like, oh, it may actually be like sooner than we think. So that it could be like as early as like a summer release or something like that.
Oh
And it
yeah.
could be just kind of a surprise thing that Xbox is like, hey, by the way, we've had a side studio working on a remaster for Oblivion. Here you go, kind of thing. So that actually that's got me kind of excited because I've always wanted to try Oblivion. But it's one of those things like that remaster. I'm on my RPG kick, so it might
It
be
might be that time.
might be that time to check it out. Finally play that game. So we'll see. I'm excited to
That's
see if
cool,
there's any
man.
validity to that. But it's kind of Xbox too. It's like they've been cooking for a while, and Phil Spencer, if we remember back in 22 and 23, whenever like emails started coming out about the court cases for the acquisition of the Xbox and with Xbox and all that, a lot of his emails were kind of just like, look, I very much do not want a repeat of 2022 because the Xbox
No.
hardly had anything come out. And Phil Spencer is adamant about being like, look, we can't have that happen again. We need to have something coming out like every few months. And so they're starting to kind of get that cadence going now finally. And so
Hmm.
I think we're going to see they're going to have some ace up the sleeves for fall and summer. So I'm excited to see what they got. But I don't know, dude. The more I hear about this year, I'm just like, this year's gonna hit. There's certainly gonna be delays for some games, but I don't know, dude. I'm ready, dude.
Yeah.
I'm so ready.
It's gonna be cool, man. Yeah. I'm there's nothing really else to say.
Yeah.
This is gonna be the year. It's gonna be the year.
Yeah, dude. I'm excited.
I'm looking forward to it. Plenty of games coming out. I cannot agree with what you said more, man. It's just I think this is gonna be the year, man. There's gonna be a lot of good changes. Very interesting. Like I don't know what's gonna happen with AI. I know that everybody is super into AI right now, and the AI revolution of like using agents and all this stuff to like automate your everyday life or make things better for people. Maybe that can free people up more in their like normal day jobs so that they can get their work done early, come home and
Yeah.
start gaming.
Hey
This
man.
is like a leisure activity, you know, for a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It seems seemingly gets harder and harder to find time. So I don't know.
That's yeah.
And
It's this.
I had some life
It's this
perspective
thing.
too. I mean, like yeah. I mean, dude, look, I've had some moments too where I'm just realizing, like, dude, I'm in the golden age of like I don't really like I have a job, right? But there's not
Hmm.
crazy responsibility, right? Like don't have a partner, don't have children, anything like that. So I'm like, if I want to get these RPGs in, Mike, and really get this gaming experience in,
You have to do it
I
now.
kind of have to do it now. Like, there's no
Yeah.
yeah, just like I have to
Well,
do it while
don't
I
get
can.
locked into
So,
a room though. You know what I mean?
of course not.
Go outside,
Um,
touch grass, bro.
no, dude, yeah,
Touch grass.
when the summer rolls around, you already know.
That's a fact. It has
So
been for us in the South. The last 3 weeks have been brutal
yeah,
with how cold it is, and the fact that like we're finally getting warmer. Bro, I looked at my
yeah,
bike. My bike's back there.
mm-hmm.
I
Chill.
thought about getting on that. Just like, let's
It
go.
was
Let's go for a ride.
yeah, dude. It was I think the high was like 68 today where I was. So it's crazy.
Oh, you're lucky.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
no,
like 60, maybe 58 for me.
yeah, dude.
I don't
It's
know. We get a little bit colder over here. We're closer to the mountains than you, higher up in
yeah,
elevation.
yeah, yeah, dude. It's getting warmer. Nah, trust me. Summer, like I'll definitely be enjoying the season, but yeah,
Oh
no.
yeah,
Especially in the winter, it's like it's time to do it. These
exactly.
colder months, man. Gotta get the sessions in.
Is the way, dude. All right, man. Let's let the people go because we yapped for close to 2 hours. And the hilarious thing is you said I think we can put about an hour in. Yeah,
No,
okay.
dude. I was like, dare I say we're sub 1 hour? But then in my defense, we decided to add a fourth article. So in
Yeah,
my
we added
defense,
the fourth article, and then we talked about Witcher 3 for a little
yeah,
bit. That's
yeah,
basically it.
yeah. And I definitely talked way too much about Witcher 3, but hey, here we are.
Yeah, no, dude, you're just excited. I'm excited for you because
um,
you're gonna have more context now when you finally get on the Witcher 3, or not the Witcher 3, the Witcher show,
yeah,
and you get to see like Henry Cavill playing as a girl, and it's
yeah,
gonna be really cool.
yeah. See
Really,
that?
really cool.
I mean, I think too. Like, I'm glad I'm playing this game. I'm glad I'm playing Witcher 3 and enjoying it because it's like getting into the. I've really been diving into the RPG world a little bit more than usual of like traditional fantasy RPGs. And so that gets me excited because now it's like I'll have more context to be able to compare like newer games and like I don't know, just getting that experience with other games that are like staples and like must plays that I just haven't gotten around to. That's what I want to like hone in on more. It's just like if there's not a new release right now to play, like it's the opportunity to play, kind of go back and play those games that like everyone talks about and everyone's like, oh, you have to play this if you haven't. So it's just catching up. I think that I'm excited about because it'll give me more context for this show and when I'm just talking about games with people in general. So
Yeah, yeah, it's cool, man. I'm excited. Yes, sir. All right, so do you have anything else to add before I give people the little spiel before we head out?
no,
I don't
dude,
think we do.
no,
Yeah.
we got to end it, dude.
Well, for those of you still listening, sticking it out, we definitely appreciate it. Obviously, these episodes are pretty long. We need to start doing segments again, I think. Side note. But anyways, all the links are in the description below. We have tiny URLs for them. You can go check them out. We also cover them and like give shout outs at the start of every single segment. You can check these out with timestamps as well. I know some people can't listen to a full 2 hours. That's a lot of time for people. But you can listen to part of it, come back, check out a different article or whatever. Um, Anyways, we just appreciate you guys for listening, tuning in. This has been the M2 Podcast. I'm Michael Anthony, and that is Kyle Heath. We appreciate you guys. Keep on gaming, and we'll see you in the next one. Start of February.
Happy February.
Yeah. Happy February. Have a wonderful weekend.
Keep gaming. Keep gaming. Goodbye.